Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Breakfast with Roger and Friends. Hit it, course. Love it. They do great work early in the morning on WAZU. I'm Roger Monroe, and we say good morning to Terry Chamberlain. Hi, Terry.
Good morning.
And also Terry Grawey. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Roger Monroe.
And it's happy to see everybody. Apparently, we got a little rain, a little precipitation last night. Well, don't all respond at the same time.
I didn't see it or hear it.
Oh, the streets are wet this
Well,
morning,
that's
so
what
I guess
figured. Unless, years ago, they don't do it anymore. The cities used to have a piece of equipment that would sweep and wash your streets, particularly your curbs, many years ago. They don't do that anymore.
I see the sweepers,
Oh, yes,
but I don't.
the sweeper,
I
yeah.
don't see any water. I don't see.
No, you don't see any water.
washing.
Well, I
washing
don't,
of the streets.
yeah. Hey, nice jacket you have on this morning.
Thank you. It's coral.
He really.
It's not pink.
Pardon? Yeah.
So it's coral. That's not pink.
Okay.
All right. I'll take your word for it.
Light
Those of
coral.
you who are watching on YouTube.
Light coral.
And by the way, I want to give this program a plug.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to the store and get an app to hear our program. All you need to do is go to YouTube.
The
and there
World
we
Wide
are.
Web.
And all over the world. Well, I really feel bad. We apparently did not appeal to Timmy.
Apparently not.
Timmy in Cambridge, England.
Oh, that's right.
Tuned in to us.
He's a
and
Timmy.
said, "Hi, cheerio, chaps."
Oh, did he talk like that? Was he
I don't
a
know.
Cheerio guy?
No, he just texted, so we
He
don't
said,
know.
we didn't
Oh.
get his tag.
All right.
But, we want to say hi as an example to Carol in Indio, California, who tunes in early in the morning. It is
4 o'clock for her.
4 o'clock for her.
AM?
A.M.
Jeez.
Yeah. And
Well, she's got nothing to do.
Julie in Champaign grabs us as well.
Wow.
And says hello. I don't know if Dick Crane in Jacksonville, Florida, not Illinois. I wish we had somebody watching in Jacksonville, Illinois, because I worked down there with Hugh Carlson, who left WRL, and we went down and put a station on the air, WJIL, and we had a great sound. And Jacksonville, I don't know if either one of you ever been to Jacksonville?
No.
Yes, but I'm trying to think why.
Well, they have a mental hospital.
That could have been it.
I maintained that Jonathan Winters may have been a resident there because he knew about Jacksonville, Illinois.
Huh.
And if you were going to get away from the Hollywood crowd, and as people
Sneak
who
away,
follow his career know, he had suffered from bipolar condition.
That's tough.
And he was an alcoholic, but a successful, recovered alcoholic. He told me the story that he woke up in the Fairmont Hotel in San Francisco after entertaining the night before, and his room was filled with empty whiskey bottles. And he said, to himself, but he shared it with me, he said, I knew that if I didn't do something, I was going to kill myself, that I wouldn't reach 50 years of age. And they never use the word cure, do they? They say recovered. Yeah.
Recovered.
And wherever he was in the world entertaining, this country, France, as an example, he went to an AA meeting every day of the week.
Oh, really?
And
Wow.
that's how he overcame. I told him you need to write a book that both his parents were alcoholics.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
I guess there is an inheritance
They
some
suggest
sort.
there could be a gene that, there is a possible gene, but
Yeah.
Really? Gene's that way too?
You know, Gene Sidler.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gene
Yeah,
Sidler.
he's-
Yeah, I didn't think he was recovered.
Yeah.
We're pretty sure he's
Where
not.
is he?
Yeah,
He doesn't come to work
he's
anymore,
down
does
in
he?
Florida.
Oh, okay.
Kevin Sullivan is. So we know we have some Floridians
Okay.
watching the program. I don't know when they jump on board. You know, but you know, it is a little after 7 their time.
No, it's not.
It isn't.
No, same time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's the same time this time of year.
I'm going
Well,
to challenge you a little bit on that.
Well, it
because-
is in Niceville. I know.
Well, that's why they call it Niceville.
We don't
Because
think-
you guys
Yeah.
are up to snuff.
It's the same time.
But
they
I,
must be over close. Wait, didn't you
Yeah.
say it's close to Destin?
Yeah, right across the, yeah.
I think that might, because that's part of the panhandle. That might be in the
yeah,
Central
you
Time
tell,
Zone.
you tell him,
He-
Terry.
I think
He's
it's the
wrong.
same time in Tampa,
He's-
too.
Well, I can tell you when I make
don't think
arrangements
so.
with Dick Crane in
Can you look that up?
Jacksonville,
Yeah.
he says, I'll join you at 7:30 your time, 8:30 my time.
He just needs the extra hour.
Oh.
He's just getting old.
Okay, well, so am I. There's no.
Well, yeah, I might be mistaken, but
I think you are mistaken. There's no
think
might to it.
Well,
I've
let's-
been doing this for umpteen years now.
We might bet breakfast on this.
Oh, okay, you know what? I'm behind with. No, I'm not. I got up with Tyrus. I took Tyrus to breakfast.
Why?
Wednesday.
Oh, they had a bet on the
Well, they had a bet.
Yeah,
one-
I lost.
football game.
Was it football? That's what it was. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I lost twice. That's why he does sports.
Did
and
he?
I
You know,
do-
where'd you go? Where'd you take him?
At Bob Evans.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
I like Bob Evans for a couple of reasons. They cater to the old people, and that
What?
helps.
Well, I mean, they cater. Now, I can't believe that you don't go, because my wife and I go there quite a bit when we are on the road and traveling and stuff. And there's one in your backyard, the Cracker Barrel.
Oh, I go there. They're a little pricey.
Really?
Oh yeah, they're
Eileen
not
said
cheap.
they were a pretty good price.
Well, I mean, you know, compared to where you normally go, you know, you go to a lot of high end.
No, I
but-
don't. I
but,
have it at home.
Bob Evans has a morning breakfast. They call it sampler, as low as $5.99,
Oh, wow.
and you get 1 egg. You get hash browns. Let's see,
One egg hash brown,
a
probably a
tooth-
meat.
toothpick float, which is very good.
Do you ever get their grits? Are you
No, I'm not into grits. No.
Now, have you ever had them with brown sugar? Because
No.
I asked him one time, or all the time when I get the grit, I said, "Can you bring me?" And one of the waitresses said, "What? Seriously?" I went, "Yeah."
Yeah. Well, you get brown
She
sugar.
said, "Never
put
heard of
on.
that before."
Yeah, it depends on my mood. If I want sweet, then I have the brown sugar
That makes
and
sense.
butter. If I want more of the savory, then I use the butter, salt, and pepper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you like the grits,
I love
right?
grits,
Yeah.
yes.
What are grits?
I don't know.
Ground up.
Yeah.
There's a
It's part of the corn.
hominy. It's
What's
actually
hominy?
hominy, which is like corn, but
Hominy.
it's bigger.
Yeah.
Not harmony.
It's
Hominy.
bigger and it's white.
What is hominy?
It's a grain, like
It's a
corn.
grain. Oh,
Yeah, it's
okay.
kinda like
It's
corn.
a white grain. Is
Yes.
It not? Yeah.
Yes,
Have you
and
ever
then-
tried it? You've probably never tried it.
I
You're,
tr- I
you're
tried
one of
it.
those guys
Yeah.
who tried
Oh,
something when you were 15,
Right.
and you don't like it. You're not going to ever try it
Yeah.
again.
That's asparagus is a good example. Cooked
Really?
asparagus.
You don't like
yeah.
cooked
No,
asparagus?
No.
wow.
And cooked spinach. I'll never eat cooked spinach. My
Really?
parents used to force. They wanted me to be Popeye. And when you cook,
I could see that.
yeah, I couldn't. And you know, we had a rule in our family, and more families should follow it, and that is you did not leave the table
Oh, I know.
without your plate being empty.
Yeah.
And I can't begin to tell you the number of times I wanted to, but I knew I would get knocked from my house in Peoria into Tazewell County by my dad. When he said quite frequently, I said, I don't want to eat the rest of this. Do you know there are children starving in other parts of the world?
Say, "Ship it to
And I wanted so bad to say, well, ship it to them, damn it.
I know.
Because I don't want to eat this
I
crap.
know. Terry, what time is it?
Niceville is in the Central Time Zone.
Oh, I'll be darned.
So in
Raj.
Niceville, it's 10 after 6.
I'll be
Tampa,
darned.
however, is in the Eastern Time Zone. It is 10 after 7 in
Fooled you,
Tampa.
fooled you.
Well, we were both right. because I said
Well,
Florida's
that's
the same
yeah,
time.
you did.
So
But
yeah.
you kind of generalized, though. You said Florida is on the same time.
Well,
That was a falsehood.
Well, okay, all right. So Tampa's an hour ahead.
Yes.
Okay.
And
So
that
the
would
time
be
zone that just
Jacksonville.
comes way funny down there.
And
Jackson
Jacksonville.
definitely is, because
Yeah.
it's on the, yes.
Yeah.
So it's all on the the whole Panhandle is the same.
That I don't know. I'd have to see the
what would
time zone
Panama
map.
City be? Yeah, I guess I really don't care, but
Yeah.
I wonder how come why do they do that? Why would they?
So we could talk about it on radio. They give us something to
Just
talk
a
about.
mess with
While
you.
you look it up, let's get into the news at the top of the hour. Let's start with the most comprehensive and live weather forecast brought to you by Heinz Roofing. Been repairing and replacing roofs in central Illinois now for over 33 years. You can get a free, no obligation inspection of your roof from Heinz Roofing by calling 309-672-0910. Quality work by quality people. Now here's the weather, and it's reported live. Cloudy with gradual clearing today, a high of 61. Tonight clear with a low of 42. Get out of the 40s overnight. Tomorrow cloudy and a high of 64. We're stepping back again, aren't we? We got up under the 70s and it was hallelujah. Sunday it'll be cloudy and there it is, 76.
Nope.
And currently, just made a lie of myself. Currently the temperature is 54 degrees. And a little reminder, Kyle Varnold, college educated in meteorology, will join us live in our studio this morning. And he's about as live as anyone can get, as a matter of good Barbie Roger.
He's a lively guy.
Yeah, he sure is. And neat guy, and certainly enjoy him as well as other people. Now let's get into the news brought to you by Matt Waugh, CPA, who, by the way, will join us at 7:30 because tax time is here, and he specializes in tax returns. He's with Gordon Stockman Waugh, and if you need help, don't waste time. Pick up the phone and call Matt Waugh at 309-692-4030. Now for the most comprehensive, more news, more often news, here are Terry number 1 and Terry number 2.
Okay,
Not necessarily in that order.
Oh,
I have an answer for you.
Yeah.
Panama City is in the central time zone.
oh, okay.
And if you bring up the time zone map, there's that little part of the peninsula that's under Alabama.
Okay.
Like
Okay,
Gulf
that's
Shores?
in central.
Is that you're talking about Gulf Shores?
No.
I don't know.
Or Pensacola?
Is Gulf Shores down in that area?
Okay.
Anyway,
Yes.
and then the part of the Florida Peninsula that's close, right under Georgia,
Okay.
that's all Eastern time zone, because the time zone.
No, Niceville's under Georgia.
Well, according to this time zone map, the time zone it runs between Alabama and Georgia.
Okay.
There's the clean
Well, that's right on
cutoff.
top of Niceville.
If you have a time zone like,
Wow.
now I know why the South lost. They
didn't know
had
what time
all-
it
Hey, bring the troops at 10 o'clock.
Oh, hell, we're an
In
hour
the
late.
meantime, the Union Army was there at 9.
Doggone it, we missed it by that much.
Yeah, that's right. And when they met at Appomattox,
At where?
they had to wait an hour because Grant got there at Central Time, and Luigi, or whatever his name was.
Robert E. Lee.
Robert.
Just hanging out.
He got there, and Grant kept looking at his watch,
What are these guys?
which was the sand that used
The
to-
hourglass?
Yeah, the hourglass.
To kill some people an hour ago.
Yeah. And anyway, this is tomfoolery. Let's be serious and bring you the most
Okay.
Now
comprehensive
the
news.
news.
Moving right along. 2 Peoria firefighters were injured yesterday when they fell through a front porch that collapsed while battling a house fire in the 3000 block of North Sheridan Road. Reports indicate they suffered back and knee injuries. Damage estimated at over $100,000. Cause of the blaze still under investigation.
Caterpillar and Doosan Bobcat are trading lawsuits against each other. Bobcat sued Cat last year for infringing on patents related to compact loaders and hydraulic motors. Caterpillar denied the claim and counterclaimed, alleging Bobcat infringed on its own product. Caterpillar also accuses Bobcat.
They're suing each other.
Also accused Bobcat they used a competitive intelligence program, to study its machines. They used AI, I guess, huh? Well, I'm assuming, no.
I don't know. It's going to be messy.
Yeah, it's going to be.
But you know what? The attorneys will do okay.
The attorneys will come out just fine.
I heard a story this morning on a class action suit, and they were part of the story on cable news was they were figuring out who was qualified for it, and I thought they know the attorneys know how much they're going to get right up front. Then we'll worry about the consumers later on.
The deadline for filing your tax returns for 2025 is midnight, Wednesday, April 15th. That's just next Wednesday. Many of those who have already filed have received refunds. Yep, mine's already spent.
For you, good.
Yep. The good news is the Internal Revenue Service is reporting taxpayers are receiving higher average refunds than in previous years, up to 14%.
Wow.
The average refund is between $3,500 and $3,800 thanks to tax cuts. We'll talk more about tax returns at 7:30 with Matt Waugh, CPA, with Gordon Stockman and Waugh.
Peoria police are hunting for the person who stabbed a man twice on the city's south side. You get stabbed on the south side Wednesday evening in the area of Martin Luther King and Hightower streets. At least that's where they found the victim, bleeding from multiple stab wounds. He was rushed to a local hospital that is reportedly in serious condition.
The Peoria Fire Department will hold a grand opening celebration of its newest firehouse in the 2100 block of West Northmore Road on Friday, April 24th. The event will be held from 9:30 to 3 p.m. with tours and a special program at 10:30. Speakers will include Mayor Rita Ali and area legislators Dave Kohler and Jahan Gordon Booth. It's Dave Kaler, isn't it?
Yes, that's
I was
you
thinking,
did good.
I was thinking of the plumbing
Dave,
place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
of the toilet.
but he will have some plumbing supplies from.
From Kohler.
Kohler.
Yeah. Apparently, Republicans were not invited.
Yeah, I found that
Ouch.
interesting. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's weird. Well, maybe they were invited and they said no.
And said no.
I don't know.
And then again, maybe they weren't invited.
Yeah, I wasn't. Speaking of the mayor, she and Dr. Sharon Karat were among members of an Illinois delegation that went to Rome, Italy, and they had the honor of participating in an audience with the Pope.
Wouldn't that be something, Pope Leo?
Wow.
Yeah.
Born in Chicago, he's the first U.S.-born Pope and is a well-known White Sox fan, joining our own Dr. Gene Sidler. Both, we think, are praying for a better year.
I wonder,
So how does that work?
if you, the team is really bad. If you have the Pope praying for you and
Yeah.
you still
And
can't
you
win,
still can't win a game.
you
You might as well hang it
yeah,
up.
and then they will.
Talking about praying, the world is sure hoping and praying the war with Iran is coming to an end. But don't bank on it. Too many confusing and contradictory stories thanks to Iran and the national media seemingly delighting in spreading falsehoods. Count on some Democrats adding to the challenges President Trump is facing in this country.
Democrats are seeking to override the commanding officer of the military with a war powers resolution to halt U.S. action. Democrat Senator John Fetterman strongly disagrees with Colonel Chuck Schumer of Stalag 13, saying, and we quote, President Donald Trump's military actions in Iran have made the world safer.
The resolution, by all accounts, is political drama. Even if it would pass, which it won't in either the House or Senate, the president can and would veto it, thereby requiring a two-thirds majority for passage. Democrats know it, but it'll dominate the national media for several weeks.
Unfortunately. And the local media like Breakfast with Roger and Friends.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's it.
One of President Trump's chief agitators is California Representative Eric Swalwell, who's running for governor in his home state. Swalwell is dodging questions and the media after he's been accused of sexual misconduct with female staffers and other women. While accusers have yet to go public, others running for governor have used the charges in their campaigns against Swalwell, who was in trouble in 2020 for having a relationship with Chinese spy Christine Fang.
Yeah, you remember that story?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't
What a
either.
great name.
Not a bad looker, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I don't remember that story. So Christine Fang was a Chinese
Yeah,
spy.
well,
Wow.
There's the Fang, I understand. The Christine doesn't seem to have a Chinese
yeah,
ring to it.
that's not real Chinese.
I don't think. I think she was married to that famous Chinese magician on Too Long.
That Milwaukee judge who was found guilty of obstruction of justice will learn whether she's going to prison in June. A jury found Hannah Dugan guilty of helping an illegal immigrant evade arrest by immigration officers.
A Democrat federal judge in Massachusetts has again issued an order blocking a Trump administration immigration order. Judge Brian Murray, who has twice been reversed by the Supreme Court, is probably going to be reversed a third time. Justice Department lawyers say they'll appeal Murphy's order preventing the deportation of 5,000 Ethiopians in the country under temporary status. Republican Senator Eric Schmidt said the ruling was not subject to judicial review.
Yeah, we have a lot of court warfare politically these days, unfortunately.
We never had that before. I don't remember all the courts being involved.
Well, unfortunately, too many of the judges, particularly federal judges, have become very politically influencing, you might say, but that's another story for another day.
Does that mean liberal? Is that what you're trying to say?
You've got it. All right, let's find out what's on the mind of the folks at WCBU, brought to you by Spoon River Home Health. These folks have been providing skilled nursing and bathing and personal care for hundreds, if not thousands, of families in Central Illinois since 1993. They're available 24/7 at 309-245-0723. The number again is 245-0723. Now more news from WCBU.
From the WCBU newsroom, I'm Lorelei Thompson. Pekin Police Chief Seth Rainey says Wednesday's arrest in the decade-long Robert B. Jr. murder investigation culminated the most manpower-intensive case in department history. 48-year-old Keith Brackett is charged with murdering the 13-year-old boy. He was reported missing in November 2016. His remains were found 8 months later. Rainey says it's the type of crime that receives the highest level of attention.
Anytime that we have a crime against a child, it's going to be something that is the highest of priorities for us.
Tazewell County prosecutors are asking the court to keep Brackett in custody until his trial begins. Mayor Rita Ali is commending the Peoria Police Departments for its work to reduce violent crime. Statistics through the end of March show 1 homicide and a nearly 20% drop in shooting incidents. Ali credits the results to dedication and partnership.
We're not going to tolerate this. We're going to work with the police to report crime when it happens.
She notes Peoria has gone nearly 6 months without a fatal shooting, and all of last year's homicides have been resolved. Peoria Heights has planned a $200,000 surplus in its budget for the upcoming fiscal year. The village board has approved the spending plan with anticipated revenue of $6.2 million. Trustee Brandon Weisenberg says Administrator Dustin Sutton has eased the burden on taxpayers while still affording vital programs, services, and operations.
I think this is the only government I know of that puts effort into reducing the costs for the citizens.
Mayor Matt Wigginton says the budget speaks volumes for strong local management and stands as an example to other communities. Peoria is in the championship of a bracket-style popularity contest to determine the best community for startup businesses. Peoria is pitted against Sioux Falls, South Dakota for this year's Midwest Madness title. Voting is done on LinkedIn and closes at the end of the week. The winning city gets a victory party and trophy. It's also an opportunity to showcase Greater Peoria and the work done at Distillery Labs. I'm Lorelei Thompson.
Now that's a party. Do you know anything about this? What is it down along the river? North Adams? By Dozier Park?
Well, probably not.
Okay.
Well,
Well, at any rate,
maybe I'm thinking of the wrong place.
all right, well, you think about it while we give you
we'll get an
sports on this Friday morning. This is Wally Ballou sitting in for the vacationing Dr. Gene Sidler. Do you remember who Wally Ballou were?
Boy, that name's familiar.
Well, it was from the two guys. I got to bring in. I used to play it every now and then. Didn't get much of a response, so I didn't play it anymore. But Bob and Ray did a radio show, and they had pseudo voices. And one of them was Wally Ballou, who gave sports. And it was Bob, I'm trying to think of what their last names, Ray Golding and Bob Elliott.
That's it.
Were the two guys. And they were funny, very original.
Yeah, they were.
And I'll have to bring it in. At any rate, we have one score of local interest on our Major League scoreboard. The White Sox were in Kansas City for a game last night. They led 1-0 after 6 innings, allowing the Royals just 2 hits thanks to southpaw Anthony Kay's pitching. They picked up another run in the 7th, and the final was the White Sox 2 and KC nothing. The Yankees were shut out. Had another shutout by the Oakland A's yesterday. That's rare. 1-0. Jeff Springs pitched a one-hitter. He was pulled after the 7th inning by the bullpen, who protected the lead in the 8th and 9th innings. That was the final score, 1-2-0. And you're wondering, well, how about the Cubs and Cardinals? They were idle yesterday, no games, but they returned to action today and tonight. In other sports, the Masters Golf Tournament. Did you ever watch any of this, either one of you, a little bit?
I do.
It is fascinating, isn't it? It's kind of relaxing.
No, it's not.
Well,
it's boring as hell.
Well, it is if you're not a golfer.
And they
you're-
whisper.
and you're
What I
not.
think's hilarious is they're in a trailer,
Yeah,
18 blocks down the road. And now as he approaches the,
yeah.
what are they whispering for? What?
No, you're wrong. They are in booths above the hole, and that's
Well,
why they do it.
But they're
Because
teeing,
you
they
can
don't
hear
tee
a
off
pin
at the
drop.
hole.
No, it's while they're putting.
Well, no, they
well-
whisper the whole time.
Oh, I see you mean on when they're teeing off.
Yeah.
So you see.
Now as he approaches the tee, watch this.
Well, what do you
He's
teed off?
chosen a
What
number
do you
2
teed
iron.
off about?
Well, I just think it's stupid. I just think it's a waste of time.
All right.
You were never a big golfer, were you?
I played golf. You know what? I got a hole in one twice over at
Whoa.
Rolling Acres that we teed. And if you
I knew
get a
that was
hole in
coming.
one, even on Wee Tee, it's
cares?
reason.
You didn't get a
solid.
plaque?
Yeah, no. And I tried to cheat, on the last hole. Well, here's why. When you putt, it goes into the cup, and then it goes through the tube
And
back.
it's gone, right.
Yeah.
Then you're done.
Well, I'm not done playing. So
Well,
I said, if I make it, grab it before it goes down.
Now, did you ever play big boy golf?
No, what is big boy golf?
Well, the links, the
Real
regular
golf.
Real golf.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you. Yes, I played a lot.
Really?
And not very good, but I played enough to enjoy the game. The challenge is to stop throwing your club when you hit one in the water. I believe it is the 9th hole at Northmore that they had a pond. And I always tightened up because I didn't want to hit it in the water, and all I did was hit it in the water.
I think it's gay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think if 4 guys walked around in a park, in a nicely landscape for 4 or 5 hours and just chatted,
Yeah.
people would look at them and
You-
go, they
you
take a
know-
golf bag and say, oh, they're just golfing.
But
No,
you
I
know
think
what?
it's,
But
I
you
think
know
it's,
what? That stereotype. I remember.
well, I'm just saying.
Let me tell you why a stereotype. When I got to Germany, I would see German girls walking hand in hand, and I wondered.
Well, that's
what-
okay.
No, that was friendship.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with their sex or their lifestyle, whatever
Yeah.
the case may be.
Nothing
And what was a movie? It was kind of a depressing movie about the kids, and they used to walk around with their arms around each other.
Well, the Little Rascals did that.
Yeah.
They would, but
Now you probably are the guy that when you saw 3 guys you love the Three Stooges because they punched
I was
each
a
other.
Three Stooges fan.
And my wife just, the boys, my two boys loved that show, still love it, as a matter of fact. And it used to drive my wife up the wall. Why are you watching that? It's violence.
It was really pretty
Yeah.
violent. It
Yeah.
really,
Well,
really
yeah,
was.
they would punch each other pretty good. Didn't one of them finally quit or die? And they had a different one of the three come
Well,
on board?
a couple of them. Shemp
Oh,
got ill. He had heart trouble, so that's when they brought in one of the
Well, you had
the
hard trouble
Joes.
too. People were slapping you around in front of the cameras.
So that was the beginning of Curly, or they had Curly and then Curly Joe.
Curly
They were
Joe,
different ones. And then at the very, very end, Larry Fine had a heart attack.
Oh, he did,
And
yeah.
he got too ill. They were trying to do one last movie, and he couldn't do it.
And
They
he
had to
couldn't
bring
do it,
somebody
yeah.
in to finish.
You know what I miss when you go back to the olden days of black and white film and so forth, were the Keystone Cops. I thought the Keystone Cops were funny.
Yeah, Buster
And-
Keaton, you weren't a Buster Keaton
No,
fan?
Buster
No?
Well, I
Keaton.
like Buster Keaton.
And
He
who was the one? And W.C. Fields.
Oh, yeah.
And Royce. We did a fundraiser.
Don't drink water
Woodrow-
myself.
Royce did a fundraiser for the Woodruff Alumni Association, and he dressed and he looked perfect.
Well, he talked
for
like him a little bit.
Yes, and he could do it real well.
Yeah, I can see
He would
him as
do the
the-
one about where W.C. Fields was leaning out of the railroad car that was under attack by the Indians. He says, "You boys get away from here. It's a private car." You boys get away from here. Anyway, are you going to let me finish doing
I thought
the
you were.
sports? Okay. The Masters Golf Tournament began yesterday in Augusta. After the first day, two players tied for the lead at five under par. Wow. American Sam Burns, never heard of the guy, but we will now. And Irishman Rory McIlroy. They returned to the links today for the second round. In basketball action in the NBA, the Bulls won last night in Washington. Hooray, hooray. But they beat a terrible team. That's why they won. The lowly Wizards won 119-108. Chicago was led by Trey Jones, who scored 31 points, 12 at the free throw line. Washington becomes only the third team in NBA history to lose 62 or more games in 3 consecutive years.
Oh, what a
They are bad.
record.
Didn't Michael Jordan, doesn't he have part ownership in the Wizards?
I don't know. I don't.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't keep track of that.
Okay. And the Blackhawks were on home ice visiting the Carolina Hurricanes in the Windy City with a record of 50 wins and only 6 losses, so they're very good. No contest. Carolina 3, Chicago 1. And our Peoria Chiefs welcomed fans last night to $2 ground beef taco night.
Oh, wow.
And once again, the opponent South Bend Cubs. The final score, I don't have.
I do.
You do. Thank you.
South Bend 3, Chiefs 5.
Okay, so 5-3, Chiefs win. Nice going, Peoria Chiefs. I always like it. I'm a Cub fan, but I will not root for South Bend because they unceremoniously dropped the Peoria Chiefs as their minor league team. Did not tell Cub management and or chief management, and that's a sign of poor management by the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah.
And that's sports.
Okay.
Thanks for getting it. Where did you find it? I searched high and low.
The Chiefs website.
Well, I went to the Chiefs
He was
website.
there earlier,
I'll
yeah.
show you. Yeah, you saw me. I was
Yeah,
at the
you were
Chiefs website, and maybe they knew that we were talking about them.
Maybe so.
Well, I tried my best. Let's recap. And 6:33 is our time. Let's get into the news. Service of Morton Community Bank's over 50 branches across central and northwestern Illinois, offering a full range of personal and business banking services. Hometown banks, FDIC insured, so your deposits are safe and secure. Look for the clock tower, and you'll know they have time for you, and we have time for the news with Terry.
Well, 2 Peoria firefighters were injured yesterday when they fell through a front porch that collapsed while battling a house fire in the 3000 block of North Sheridan Road. Reports indicate they suffered back and knee injuries. Damage estimated at over $100,000. Cause of the blaze is under investigation. Caterpillar and Doosan Bobcat are trading lawsuits against each other. Bobcat sued Cat last year for infringing on patent related to compact loaders and hydraulic motors. Caterpillar denied the claim and counterclaimed, alleging Bobcat infringed on its own product. Caterpillar also accuses Bobcat of using a competitive intelligence program to study its machines. The deadline for filing your tax returns is Wednesday, April 15th. That's just next Wednesday. Many who filed have received refunds. The good news is the Internal Revenue Service is reporting taxpayers are receiving higher average refunds than in previous years. In fact, up to 14% more. The average refund is between $3,500 and $3,800, thanks to tax cuts. We'll talk more about tax returns at 7:30 with Matt Waugh, CPA with Gordon Stockman and Waugh. Peoria police are hunting for the person who stabbed a man twice on the city's south side Wednesday evening in the area of Martin Luther King and Hightower Streets. At least that's where they found the victim, bleeding from multiple stab wounds. He was rushed to a local hospital and is reportedly in serious condition. Peoria Mayor Rita Ali and Peoria School Superintendent Dr. Sharon Karat were among members of an Illinois delegation that went to Rome, Italy, and had the honor of participating in an audience with Pope Leo XIV at Vatican City. Born in Chicago, he's the first U.S.-born pope and is a well-known White Sox fan. The world is hoping and praying the war with Iran is coming to an end, but don't bank on it. Too many confusing and contradictory stories thanks to Iran and the national media seemingly delighting in spreading falsehoods. Democrats are seeking to override the commanding officer of our military with a war powers resolution to halt U.S. action. Democrat Senator John Fetterman strongly disagrees with fellow Democrat Chuck Schumer, saying, and we quote, President Donald Trump's military actions in Iran have made the world safer, end quote. One of President Trump's chief agitators is California Representative Eric Swalwell, who's running for governor in his home state. Swalwell is in the hot seat after he's been accused of sexual misconduct with female staffers. And that Milwaukee judge who was found guilty of obstruction of justice will learn whether she's going to prison in June. A jury found Hannah Dugan guilty of helping an illegal immigrant evade arrest by immigration officers. And those are the headlines, Roger.
All right, let's take a look at the weather brought to you by Steve Sink. He is an official with PHX Affiliates, and he's a business broker, and he's been doing that kind of work for over 20 years, selling businesses, buying businesses, and he's very good, by the way, at business valuation. You know a little bit about that, don't you?
Oh, I've had some businesses. I don't know about valuing them.
Yeah. Well, Steve does, and you can reach Steve today at 309-696-8508. Well, I don't know about the two of you, but I was in the closet. I finally came out. And
Okay, well, wow, it's a big announcement
yes,
today
big
on the Wazoo.
well, the announcement was I didn't know what to wear. You know, you look at the weather,
Confusing.
and sometimes I get confused. I won't say which channel it was. He's got this list of things that you should.
The checklist, yes.
And umbrellas on it. Nobody carries umbrellas anymore. They used to at
I have
one
one in my
time.
car.
I have one in my car.
You know, I have one too in the trunk. It doesn't do any good.
You don't wear it?
If it's
Or you don't
no,
ever
I
use
don't
it?
wear it.
No,
you know.
I meant use it.
And coffee, I don't drink coffee. And then another
You know, this is starting to
category
explain a lot.
is
Yeah, it does.
a coat or jacket. I guess that has to do with weight. A coat is heavier, a jacket is lighter.
True.
Okay.
Okay.
And sunglasses. Yeah. And I don't think anybody wears sunglasses at 5 in the morning.
Oh,
Well, no, at 5 in the
No.
morning, no.
Yeah.
no, not.
So
But I have sunglasses.
anyway, but
prescription
I
sunglasses.
do too. But I don't wear them at 5. And I know
Well,
some
no.
people that do wear sunglasses. I never figured out why entertainers would show up at a show with sunglasses.
Well, I
Now
think-
maybe maybe
think
they're
it's two
blind,
reasons.
you know.
Yeah, there's two. Okay.
Yeah, well,
Well, one's drug use, and the other one is the flashing lights.
The flashing lights are very, very bright.
Yeah, have you ever been?
well, why do you wear sunglasses at events where the lights are bright?
Well,
No, but I'm not up on stage.
you don't have 100
Well,
people
yeah,
taking pictures.
Well, these are not on stage. These are people sitting there eating.
Well,
Well, if they're
Ray
prescription.
Charles used to do that all the time.
God.
So does Stevie Wonder, but that's beside the
Yeah.
point.
I don't know. It must.
Yeah,
I guess
you're
it's a black
terrible.
thing.
You're terrible, Roger. You going to read the weather? Yes. Cloudy with gradual clearing today. High 61. Clear skies.
When?
And tonight, the low 42. Tomorrow, more clouds. You know, it's going to be a cloudy weekend. I don't think we're going to see the sun, according to this. Kyle Varnold will
Kyle
be
will
in,
set us
and
straight.
he will
Yeah,
be
that's
live. We do not record the weather and play it. We're about as live as you can get. Tomorrow, cloudy, 64. And tomorrow, of course, is Saturday. And Sunday, cloudy and 76.
Wow,
Yes.
it'll be hot.
And, well, I don't know. Currently 54. I don't know. At what point do you consider the temperature hot?
82.
82. Yeah, I would buy that.
Me.
80 or 82,
Yeah,
but not
80s.
76.
No, but comparatively, it's going to be pretty warm.
Well, compared to what?
Well, what we have
52?
now, yeah, 50 and
Yeah,
40s.
54 in the case. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
I'll buy into that. You brought in some nutritional.
Well, I brought it yesterday,
snacks
and you
for
wanted to know what it was.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, so I brought the whole bag. It looks like, I don't know how you'd say that. Nutrail?
I would say new trail.
Nutrail nut granola, cinnamon seeds.
Well,
don't know.
now it's got an umlaut
A what?
over the U.
No, that's an accent mark.
Yeah.
The umlaut is the two.
Yeah. An umlaut's like an arrow. Did you know what an umlaut is?
Well, yeah, I was in Germany, and they have umlauts all over there.
I usually have an umlaut with breakfast. No, I'm sorry, that's omelet.
That's
different.
artistic, isn't it? That's artistic.
I would say so.
yeah.
But I don't. You say new.
I don't know.
New trail.
Nutrail, yeah.
New trail.
It's keto certified, so that's important.
Now, you want to explain what keto means? I see that all the time. And apparently people who lose weight follow a keto diet. Is that the story?
Well, it's short, I think it's short for ketosis, I believe. And that's about as far as my medical degree goes.
Okay.
I did some volunteer work. That's younger.
They've got interesting tidbits on it. TC. Oh, I see. Total carbs.
Total carbs, yeah.
And everything's acronym.
It's,
By the way, did you
gluten-free.
see by any chance last night on cable television, they had a Canadian woman on, and she went through, if I can find it, I'm going to play it, because it is really funny, except she was very, very serious. And it's about every category of the population that she cares about. And it ranged from missing people to women to abused children. And,
It was funny?
uh-huh.
Well, it sounds like a funny topic.
No.
Oh.
Well, Gutfeld made it
Oh,
funny,
okay.
but she was serious, and if I can find it. And what is amazing about it, and I've been in radio for over 70 years, is she said the acronym without fluffing, and bing, and she nailed it. I hope I can
is
find
this one
it.
the LGBTQ and she rattles off of like 3 more letters
Yes,
after that?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't see
And
that.
it is, and she was serious as a heart attack. Gutfeld, on the other hand, and the rest of the panel laughed and made fun of her, and rightly so, because we've become a society of acronyms. And I know in the healthcare field, you had CCU and ICU.
Oh, and the military's full of it.
and yeah, and Spec 3 in the military,
yeah.
Spec 4,
Snafu.
snafu, no sweat.
Right.
Yeah.
Pencil
I'd
whipping.
love-
Have you ever heard that one?
What?
Pencil whip it. I learned that one.
Never
this
heard of
time.
that one.
I've heard pencil whip, yeah.
Pencil whip it. What does it mean for sure? Because I've heard like two different.
Well,
meanings.
when we used it, it was just pencil whip, and it was like
You don't really read it. You don't really pay attention to what it says. You just sign off on it and let it go.
Yeah, you kind of just rough it real quick,
Yeah,
and
just pencil whip it.
yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, well,
You ever heard that before? That
No, I
expression?
never heard
You were in the service. You never heard. You never pencil whipped anything.
no, I got pencil whipped
You got
once
pencil
on Howard Street and Wiswald.
Yeah. That'll happen. But,
Depending on, that brings up to something. I'm born and raised and educated in Peoria, and there was a time when you could drive anywhere in the city of Peoria without fear, day or night, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. There are types of areas of Peoria I wouldn't even drive in today
yeah.
at night. I remember going down to Proctor Field where they played fast pitch games late at night, Monday through Sunday, and neighbors used to come over and sit in lawn chairs. Mm-hmm. Now, if you have a lawn chair and leave it out overnight, it'll be gone. Well, that may be true anywhere in the city of Peoria or any city for that matter. Boy, have we ever gone down the toilet when it comes to public safety. It just
Yes, we
is
have.
not.
I think it's a discipline issue. I don't think people.
No, it's called a crime issue.
They don't get in trouble
Yeah.
for what they
And-
do.
Well, that's true.
Right, there's
and
no-
we have young kids running around as young as 13 packing guns.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, live guns. Can you imagine a kid carrying a 45 or a 38 with live ammunition?
Yeah. No, it should be,
I carried a gun at 13, but I had to refuel it every now and then with water.
yeah, right, yeah.
Wasn't that fun?
yeah.
And we got in trouble for squirting each other. I never squirted my mother or dad because they would squirt me with rubber holes of sorts, for that matter. But it was wild and crazy. At any rate, we'll be right back after our pet tip of the day.
Today's Pet Tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. Do you think that most flea and tick treatments are pretty much the same? Have you ever used a product for dogs on a cat or vice versa? Do you think that what you can get in the pet or farm store is probably just as good, only cheaper than what the vet can offer? I hope you answered no to these questions. The very sad truth is that even when caring for our pets, the old saying, "You get what you pay for," is very true. People try to get by with cheaper solutions that end up costing more in emergency vet care. There are some products on the market today which are known to cause toxic poisoning or central nervous damage among cats, leading to death. Is chancing death worth the savings to you? My vet informs me that too many people have been doing this lately. They buy a cheap, over-the-counter product that results in intensive vet care, often still ending in painful death and loss. Now I ask you, how much did you save by not using the better, safer product that a vet can prescribe? The same is also true for dogs. You can't use a product made for cats on dogs. Some do not even prevent against all types of worms, yet the packaging is misleading and you think you are treating for fleas, ticks, and heartworms. Please consult your vet for safe, reliable flea and tick treatment. It's the compassionate, right action to take. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSVR Studios. Theme music by Stuardo Glasser and produced by Isla Bystrom Williams.
Today's pet tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
All right, thank you, Louis Linder, for our pet tip of the day. Weather-wise, cloudy with gradual clearing on this Friday, the 10th of April, with a high of 61. Right now, our temperature at 54 degrees. A little reminder coming up on Sunday, April 26th, 3 o'clock afternoon, curtain goes up. If they have one, they probably don't have a curtain at the First Federated Church, but the Orpheus Club of Peoria will hold their annual spring concert. And how did Dale Hall say the Orpheus Club? 1902, I think.
1902.
1902.
These are singers, right?
Yeah,
It's four-part harmony.
yeah,
Oh, four-part.
yeah. You know, I'll bet. Do you sing at all? Seriously?
Nope.
No.
I can't
You
hold
know-
a tune in a bucket.
Yeah, but you know, can you hear him singing the bass?
I just can't. It's my ears or something. I can't hear the
Yeah, you have
tones.
bad ears. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. It affects my mouth.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I can't. No, I can't. I would love to
You
sing,
know, you
but I
would be
can't.
good. Who's there have been several bass singers.
Barry
that,
White.
Yeah, Barry White. Yeah, but in groups like the Statler Brothers, Royce used to open for the Statler Brothers, and what was the other?
Smothers Brothers.
No, not the Smothers.
The Gatlin brothers.
Gatlin Brothers.
Gatlin Brothers, yeah. And the guy that always played, I'm trying to think what his name is, he just had a great voice. At any rate, 54 degrees currently our temperature. Hey, on this, but I didn't finish talking about the Orpheus Club. Yes, I did. First Federated Church, Sunday, April 26th, 3 o'clock. You guys are supposed to be helping me. You're sitting there like you're
You're on your own, Raj.
statues in Springdale Cemetery.
Nope, you're on your own.
Okay, I noticed that. Yeah. At any rate, well, now we'll test you with our this day in history question.
Oh,
April
geez,
10th,
this early.
1953.
Oh, okay, that's around my birth date.
Okay.
Something important happened in the film industry.
Color film.
Okay,
Technicolor.
okay, you're right. That's half the question. What's the rest? First color film.
Well, you want to know what it was?
I don't believe it was the first color film, but it was the first color film in a
Or it
certain
wasn't a Wizard of Oz.
area of cinematography.
Certain genre of movie?
Cinematography.
Photography. Was it a cartoon?
The Ten Commandments.
No. Well, you could name the movie. That would help.
Ben-Hur.
That was my other guess.
Yeah.
I think Ben-Hur's a little bit later than
Yeah.
53.
So what's the question?
What happened in Hollywood in the filmmaking? April
Well,
10th,
Okay,
1953.
Technicolor. They came up with Technicolor.
Well, the first color film.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Saying you want to know
But
what the name of the
it
film?
wasn't the first color film, but it was in this category of filmmaking. We had color film before 1953.
Well, yeah, because The Wizard of Oz was like 1939 or
Yeah,
something.
exactly
And
right.
it was,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I take away the credit I gave you on that.
Oh, well, thanks.
It was
Jeez.
not the first color film, but it was the first color film in what? And I'll tell you what, I'll help you out. It was a category of movie making that was a famous film because it was a horror film.
An X-rated film?
No?
Oh, horror.
horror.
Oh, different.
Okay,
I was
let's
thinking.
see.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
different.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
Well, you said horror.
Yes. H-O-R-R-O-R.
I know. I took the wrong.
Yeah.
War of the Worlds.
No?
I don't know anything that old that was.
Okay. And the movie starred Vincent Price.
Castle of Blood or House of Blood.
No, you're getting close. You're warm. You ever play hide the thimble?
Yes.
No. So you're getting more.
House of Wax.
House of Wax is correct.
I've never heard of that.
And it was the first color film in,
The horror genre.
The horror.
Or
no.
was that science fiction?
Yeah, let's see. Just gave you credit. Just say, I erred in giving you credit.
Well,
what-
it
well,
would
the
be a
genre
horror
would be a
film.
horror
It
film.
was.
Well, you guys
Mystery?
don't need to get huffy. I'm trying to help you out, and you're snapping at me.
That's what we used to call a spooky movie, but
There was I don't know. I think I may have seen it, but 1953. I didn't know where I was coming or going. Starred Vincent Price, and it was something that it was a film process.
it wasn't 3D.
Yes.
It was 3D? I thought Creature from Black Lagoon. Okay.
Really? Do you have to wear the glasses?
I don't know. I'll read about it.
All right.
It was the first movie from a major motion picture studio to be shot in color using the stereoscopic 3D, what a word that is, film process, and one of the first horror films to be shot in color. The first black and white 3D film to be released by a major studio was,
Creature from the Black Lagoon?
no,
No clue.
Man
Over the moon.
in the
Moon.
Dark. You
Never
remember
heard-
that?
no, I never heard of that
me
one.
either. Obviously, neither did anyone else, which premiered just 2 days before House of Wax. The 3D filming process involved using 2 cameras or a single twin lens camera, that we all know about, to represent both the right and the left eye of the human viewer. Isn't that something?
Well, then they did have glasses on. They had
Well, now just a
3D
minute.
glasses.
Images from the 2 cameras were then projected simultaneously onto the screen. Moviegoers had to view House of Wax through special stereoscopic glasses to see its full 3D effect. Remember, they were cardboard.
Yeah, and they
There's
blue
that
and red on the.
No, green. Or blue. No, you're right. Blue and red.
The lenses were specially tinted so that the viewer would see the right and left eye images only with the eyes for which they were intended.
Right.
The 3D process proved especially effective during the film's climatic chase scene in which the cloaked killer pursues Phyllis Kirk's character through a series of gaslit streets and alleyways with the viewer following along behind them. I don't remember that. Let's see, in 1953, I think I was 38. Well, you struggled with that, and
Have you ever seen a 3D movie, Terry?
No, I
With
have
the
not.
glasses?
I did.
I have
yeah.
not.
Did you?
No.
With the guy you sat there with the glasses? and-
Absolutely. yeah.
Really? At the drive-in, or was it?
No, I believe it was at the Apollo. It might have been at the Palace.
Really?
You know, I look back on the theaters that we had, and I know we love the Civic Center and so forth, but we made a terrible mistake not preserving the Madison Theater, because the Madison Theater was the Cadillac of movie theaters in Peoria. Palace was close behind. I think the Palace had the best ceiling.
Oh, the Majestic.
And
The old Majestic was pretty.
The Majestic.
Yeah. Oh, so
You weren't old enough to go to the Majestic.
Well, no, but I've seen, because that's where WMBD used to be. That's where their studios were.
On
They're on
Jefferson?
Jefferson. That was
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
the old Majestic Theater.
But you were never.
Oh, no, I was
you were
never-
never
no.
around. You weren't even thought of.
No, not
Back
not
then.
even close.
It was a nightmare, but eventually you were. No. All right. We have a couple of other questions on history, but we might wait. I heard you mumble something under your breath, kind of derogatory.
it's kinda early,
kind of
don't you think?
derogatory toward
Well,
the
that
host.
was a derogatory.
Yeah,
It
well,
was
I
just
heard what you said.
I was just pointing out.
It's kind of early, and
You're just a little early. You must be running out of stuff to do.
Yes, well, you don't have to be so obvious about it. Then you didn't do anything to help me, did you?
Folks, we're running out of time.
No,
We're running out of ideas.
He's doing it.
Please give us a call.
He's doing it. He's doing it early. Terry.
Doing it early.
Yeah, we're not ready for
He
that.
doesn't know what to
But
do
we
next.
can't bring out the tap dance and the tap shoe, the soft shoe routine, so we got to do something.
Go, you got it.
You're over there eating that
Oh,
food
my.
that's meant for
Yeah,
horses.
I love to just watch you die here.
I remember they asked, Johnny Carson asked Jonathan Winters one, have you ever died on stage? And Jonathan says, many times. and I know, I did, I used to do what I thought was some comedic bits, and I died one night, and one of my best friends, God rest his soul, Tom Ficken, afterward, I said, I really bombed tonight. Oh no, he said, it was just a bad crowd.
It's just a bad but you need to do that. Everybody who's going to be on stage, who's going to perform, you can't always have a good. You got to have that one show that was like, oh my God,
but
what am I doing up here?
When they get into multiple shows, that's the time.
Well, then you just quit.
Then you quit. Yeah. Yeah. Why'd you quit? Bad shows, bad audience. News, weather, sports coming up next on Breakfast with Roger and Friends on WAZU FM 90.7, where we're dying this morning. Well, apparently, people watching on YouTube are okay with us because we continue increasing numbers, and that's good to see. At any rate,
Tell your
let's
neighbors,
get
make the noise.
yeah. Call your friends, call your families in Russia and Germany and wherever the case may be. It is a Friday, the 10th day of April. We begin with a check of the weather, and the weather, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by our good friend Sam Lilly. Sam Lilly and Associates, providing a comprehensive range of insurance products, including personal auto, home, life, and medical coverage. And I have to tell you, Sam specializes in Medicare plans and options. He's a go-to guy. You have any questions about Medicare? That's something he's been doing during his 40 years in the business. Sam Lilly, he knows insurance, and you can reach Sam today at 309-245-4374. Cloudy with gradual clearing today, a high of 61, and overnight low 42 tomorrow, cloudy and 64. And Sunday it'll be cloudy and 76. And we've lost a degree, we're now at 53. Now with the leads, here are Terry and Terry.
2 Peoria firefighters were injured yesterday when they fell through a front porch that collapsed while battling a house fire in the 3000 block of North Sheridan Road. Reports indicate they suffered back and knee injuries. Damage estimated at over $100,000. Cause of the blaze still under investigation.
Caterpillar and is it Dosen or Doosan?
Yes.
Okay, Bobcat are trading lawsuits against each other. Bobcat sued Caterpillar last year for infringing on a patent related to compact loaders and hydraulic motors, something that I'm very familiar with.
As most listeners and viewers are.
And we're going to talk about compact loaders and hydraulic motors next hour. Caterpillar denied the claim and counterclaimed, alleging Bobcat infringed on its own product. So they sued him because they infringed on their own product. I guess you can do something like that. Caterpillar also accuses Bobcat used a competitive intelligence program, I wonder if it was ChatGPT, to study its machines.
Is it, when they're talking about its product, are they talking about Caterpillar's product? Or
Caterpillar also accused Bobcat used a competitive intelligence program to study its... Oh, okay, they were studying. So they used ChatGPT to study Caterpillar machines.
Yes.
Yes.
So what? I mean, you can't study somebody's...
Well, I think what they're arguing about is they not only studied it, they stole it.
Well, yeah, well,
And they used it
in the
to...
case of the
That's it.
compact loaders and hydraulic motors,
You know, it's kind of like yeah. It's kind of like you know, we lost a plane over Iran, part of the search you may recall, that crashed. And what we do? We brought in other planes to blow the thing to smithereens because they didn't want the Iranians to gather. And they probably still went and gathered as much as they could and shipped it to Russia and said, here, maybe there's something here you can copy to counter the
Do you think there's
superiority.
that
of-
many secrets still?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, in an older plane, in an older, like F-15, you think
Well, I don't.
they haven't figured that
Well,
out?
you know, they update. It's just like Colonel Ballard is down in Arkansas getting. Boy, I tell you what, this new C-130 that they are manufacturing must have some technology in it. It's unbelievable. He's been down there for months, and I think he said he's coming home next month and will join us in one of our morning sessions. But studying for
partying.
Mensa,
No,
he
he's-
said,
He's partying.
well, by the way, he carries a gun. In case you want to continue commenting
He's
on
a
it.
little guy.
Yeah.
He's just a little.
Yeah. Any rate, he's been there for months, and I said, "You must be learning a lot." He says, "There's a lot to learn."
Oh, yeah, it's totally new. I mean, all new technology, all digital. They're losing a person in the cockpit because of all the new technology.
They lost him. Oh, no, I see.
They're
Okay.
down, they used to be three,
Yeah,
now
they haven't
they'll be
found
just
him
two.
ever
Found
since
that
they
guy?
lost him. Never did. Yeah, yeah. Apparently, he's in the cargo hold.
Anyway, moving on with
Yes,
the news.
please.
Okay, all righty.
The deadline for filing your tax returns for 2025 is midnight, Wednesday, April 15th. Many of those who have already filed have received their refunds. The good news is the Internal Revenue Service is reporting taxpayers are receiving higher average refunds than in previous years, as much as 14% higher. The average refund between $3,500 and $3,800 thanks to tax cuts. We'll talk more about tax returns at 7:30 with Matt Waugh, CPA, with Gordon Stockman and Waugh.
Peoria police are looking for the person who stabbed a man twice on the city's south side Wednesday evening in the area of Martin Luther King and Hightower Streets. At least that's where they found the victim bleeding from multiple stab wounds. He was rushed to a local hospital and is reported in serious condition.
The Peoria Fire Department will hold a grand opening celebration of its newest firehouse in the 2100 block of West Northmore Road on Friday, April 24th. The event will be held from 9:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. with tours and a special program at 10:30. Speakers will include Mayor Rita Ali and area legislators Dave Kaler and Jahan Gordon Booth. Apparently, Republicans were not invited. Ouch.
Well, now the mayor's not, that's a nonpartisan job.
Well, but oh, never mind.
Which is
Don't-
a joke.
Yeah.
I'd say. The mayor,
Yeah,
the
well,
council,
they-
that's nonpartisan.
Nonpartisan,
Come
and
on.
everybody knows what party.
Everybody.
It doesn't matter whether it's a mayor or sub-mayor or
There's no secret.
there's no secrets about your affiliation. So that was a.
But yet the
a sham.
assessor's office has to run under a party.
Yes,
Now they
that's
assess, yeah, the mayor doesn't and the council doesn't, but the assessor's office has to pick a party to
Well,
run.
that's nuts.
crazy.
And
It
the
doesn't make
clerk,
sense.
the city clerk,
And doesn't the coroner
and the
have to pick a-
treasurer, and the coroner
coroner?
is
Which
a
do-
political
which is
office.
just
yeah.
ridiculous.
The township supervisor is a political
Yes.
office.
Yep.
Of
Doesn't make
all of
sense.
them, the one office that should not be political is the coroner. The coroner should
absolutely
be
not.
a doctor, or in Jamie's case, he's a nurse and
He's a nurse.
has had advanced training. I don't know whether he has a master's degree in nursing or not, but he's the first who had, as I recall, medical
Yeah.
credentials.
He's got a real estate license.
He does?
Yeah.
Didn't
Yeah,
know
that's what he's
that.
doing, yeah.
I remember
that's worth something.
I remember Horace Payton, who was coroner, and he used to raise parakeets.
Really?
Yeah, I bought one for my mom, and she couldn't have been happier. That parakeet was.
You bought a
companion.
bird for your mom?
Yes, and because
Well,
she
that's
was
a
home.
weird gift.
Well, she didn't think so. She thought you were, but not the bird.
What'd you name
Yeah.
this? If you
I
say,
didn't name
If you say Pete, that's it.
No.
I beat the parakeet.
No, I think she named him Polly. No, I don't.
Oh, want a cracker.
Polly,
I want a cracker.
Polly want a cracker. No,
Oh,
hey,
no.
give me steak.
Speaking of the mayor, she and
Yes.
Dr. Sharon Karat were among members of an Illinois delegation that went to Rome, Italy, and they had the honor of participating in an audience with the Pope.
Wouldn't that be thrilled? I would be
Yeah.
thrilled.
My wife was...
You're a big Catholic, so
well,
you would really be thrilled.
my wife more than me.
Yeah.
My wife was there. She went to...
Did she? Did she have an audience with the Pope?
She was in an audience, and the Pope was there. But he was about...
Was it Leo?
just several hundred feet is all. Yeah. Yeah, it was Leo. Yeah.
Wow.
So she got fairly close.
Close to, yeah.
The weird thing, there's obviously crowds wherever you go when the
Yeah.
Pope's around, and there's people, a lot of people. The rudest, well, I don't know the rudest, but some very rude nuns. I mean, they almost knocked her down because they would come running and elbowing, and I guess I don't know if they think they weren't American nuns. They were from some other country, but she said they were very rude. She said almost knocked her down. She said I had to elbow them
Almost
back.
knocked your wife down or
Yes.
the Pope down?
No, not the Pope. No, they would have been crucified. I think if they did that. But the nuns were very rude. They were always cutting in line. She said, I don't get it.
Are you sure they were?
Well, they had on habits.
Might have been. Well, but you can be a Baptist, and maybe they were
Well,
Baptists.
Well, what is
and-
Baptist called? Aren't those nuns still?
No, but I'm
What are they
saying
called?
they may have put habits on to.
They were been in disguise.
Yes, yeah.
Well, it was a
You
bad.
know, Sally Fields didn't she?
Well,
Wasn't
she was a
she
flying
a
She was
nun?
the flying nun.
Yeah, she.
and that was true. That was
This
a
is
true
a
story.
true story. When we lived in West Peoria, Danny, our oldest son, I don't know how old he was, but he's a little boy. Well, just on the other side of West Laura where we lived was Heading Avenue, and they had a, what do you call it, a nunnery?
A convent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nun house.
Yeah. And at any rate, we told him that these are nuns, but he didn't articulate, and he said, "Oh, there goes a nut." And we had said,
none.
No, it's none, Danny. It's none.
Yeah, I was considering I was going to be a priest.
Oh, thank God that didn't work out.
Well, I figured out what nun meant.
You made that up. That's part of your routine, I can tell. Back to the news. Okay, we're going downhill. We're all going to, not you,
We're going to hell now.
Terry, but Terry and I are going to go to hell.
Talking about praying, the world is sure hoping and praying the war with Iran is coming to an end. But don't bank on it. Too many confusing and contradictory stories, thanks to Iran and the national media seemingly delighting in spreading falsehoods. Count on some Democrats adding to the challenges President Trump is facing in this country.
Democrats are seeking to override the commanding officer of our military with a war powers resolution to halt U.S. action. Democrat Senator John Fetterman strongly disagrees with Colonel Chuck Schumer of Stalag 13, saying, and we quote, President Donald Trump's military actions in Iran have made the world safer.
The resolution, by all accounts, is political drama. Even if it would pass, which it won't in either the House or Senate, the president can and would veto it, thereby requiring a two-thirds majority for passage. Democrats know it, but it'll dominate the national media for several weeks.
One of President Trump's chief agitators is California Representative Eric Swalwell, who's running for governor in his home state. Swalwell is dodging questions and the media after he's been accused of sexual misconduct with female staffers and other women. So female staffers and other women. Okay. Oh, okay. While accusers have yet to go public, others running for governor have used the charges in their campaigns against Swalwell, who was in trouble in 2020 for having a relationship with a Chinese spy, Christine Fang.
Yeah.
That Milwaukee judge who was found guilty of obstruction of justice will learn whether she's going to prison in June. A jury found Hannah Dugan guilty of helping an illegal immigrant evade arrest by immigration officers.
A Democratic federal judge in Massachusetts has again issued an order blocking a Trump administration immigration order. Judge Brian Murphy, who has twice been reversed by the Supreme Court, is probably going to be reversed a third time. Justice Department lawyers say they'll appeal Murphy's order, preventing the deportation of 5,000 Ethiopians in the country under temporary status. Republican Senator Eric Schmidt said the ruling was not subject to judicial review.
Yeah.
And Roger, that appears to be all the news to use for use.
You think that the Milwaukee judge is going to get anything more serious than a slap on the wrist? I don't even think she'll serve time.
No,
I think
unfortunately.
they'll put her on probation.
Wisconsin's pretty liberal.
Yeah, be sure. And it's somewhat of a challenge, a judge evaluating or sentencing a fellow judge in this case. I don't think so.
Nope, not going to happen.
Let's get news from WCBU, presented by Advanced Medical Transport. The premier provider of emergency and scheduled ambulance services in central, western, and eastern Illinois. There are more than 500 AMT employees. They're great men and women dedicated to offering and providing the best in health care. Saving lives is what they do, and they do a wonderful job for that matter. AMT. Let's find out what's the latest in the newsroom of WCBU.
From the WCBU newsroom, I'm Lorelei Thompson. Pekin Police Chief Seth Rainey says Wednesday's arrest in the decade-long Robert B. Jr. murder investigation culminated the most manpower-intensive case in department history. 48-year-old Keith Brackett is charged with murdering the 13-year-old boy. He was reported missing in November 2016. His remains were found 8 months later. Rainey says it's the type of crime that receives the highest level of attention.
Anytime that we have a crime against a child, it's going to be something that is the highest of priorities for us.
Tazewell County prosecutors are asking the court to keep Brackett in custody until his trial begins. Mayor Rita Ali is commending the Peoria Police Departments for its work to reduce violent crime. Statistics through the end of March show 1 homicide and a nearly 20% drop in shooting incidents. Ali credits the results to dedication and partnership.
We're not going to tolerate this. We're going to work with the police to report crime when it happens.
She notes Peoria has gone nearly 6 months without a fatal shooting, and all of last year's homicides have been resolved. Peoria Heights has planned a $200,000 surplus in its budget for the upcoming fiscal year. The village board has approved the spending plan with anticipated revenue of $6.2 million. Trustee Brandon Weisenberg says Administrator Dustin Sutton has eased the burden on taxpayers while still affording vital programs, services, and operations.
I think this is the only government I know of that puts effort into reducing the costs for their citizens.
Mayor Matt Wigginton says the budget speaks volumes for strong local management and stands as an example to other communities. Peoria is in the championship of a bracket-style popularity contest to determine the best community for startup businesses. Peoria is pitted against Sioux Falls, South Dakota for this year's Midwest Madness title. Voting is done on LinkedIn and closes at the end of the week. The winning city gets a victory party and trophy. It's also an opportunity to showcase Greater Peoria and the work done at Distillery Labs. I'm Lorelei Thompson.
On this beautiful Friday morning, Wally Ballou sitting in for the vacationing Dr. King. We have one score of local interest on our Major League scoreboard. The White Sox were in Kansas City for a game last night. They led 1-0 after 6 innings, allowing the Royals just 2 hits. And the final score, they picked up another run in the 7th, and the final score, Chicago 2, KC nothing. The Yankees were shut out by the Oakland A's yesterday, 1-0. Jeff Springs pitched a one-hitter. He was pulled after the 7th inning by the bullpen, and they protected the lead in the 8th and 9th innings, and that's how it ended, 1-0. The Cubs and Cardinals idle yesterday, no games. They return to action today and tonight. Let's turn to golf. The Masters Golf Tournament began yesterday in Augusta, Georgia. Have any of you ever been to Augusta, Georgia?
Yeah, I was born there.
You're kidding, really?
Really?
Wow. What were your parents doing?
Dad was stationed at Fort Gordon.
Oh, he was in the military.
Yes.
Oh,
What military?
Army.
What army? Okay.
yeah.
Was he a lifer? Was he?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
No.
How do you remember anything about Augusta?
No, because I was born there in 57, and we moved back home in 59, so I was
you were
barely 2 years old.
2 years old.
Yeah.
You don't remember? Well, I'm shocked and dismayed by that. The golf course, I guess, is just absolutely
Beautiful.
lavishly
Yes.
adored by flowers and bushes and trees and snakes. At any rate, 2 players are tied for the lead at 5 under par, which is amazing, 5 under par. American Sam Burns and Irishman Roy McIlroy They return to the links today for the second round. Let's turn to the NBA. The Bulls won last night in Washington, beating the lowly, and I mean lowly, Wizards, 119-108. I watched a little of that game, and gosh, I think the Bradley Braves could beat the Wizards. Chicago led by Trey Jones, who scored 31 points, 12 at the free throw line, so he got fouled a lot. Washington becomes only the third team in NBA history to lose 62 or more games in 3 consecutive years. The Blackhawks were on home ice hosting the Carolina Hurricanes in the Windy City, and the Blackhawks, it was no contest. They lost 3-1. Let's put it to bed. That's the last score I had. Might have been worse. And our Peoria Chiefs welcomed fans last night to $2 ground beef taco night. That sounds good. Isn't it usually ground beef? Or
Yeah, but there's chicken.
Yeah,
There's,
fish taco.
there's fish tacos.
Oh, is there a fish taco?
yeah.
Steak tacos.
Steak taco?
Actually,
Yeah.
pieces of steak.
You guys are regular taco eaters?
Well, on Tuesdays, yeah.
Tuesday?
Yeah.
Well,
Taco,
is that,
Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
is that $2?
Oh, sometimes you
Or
get it for a buck.
$1?
Sometimes, but
Yeah.
those days are kind of getting
Yeah, they're getting
farther
few and
behind.
far between.
Yes.
It's the margaritas, $5.
Well, anyway, the Chiefs won 5-3,
There you go.
and that's sports.
I got a
On-
question. I got a sports question.
Yes, okay. I'll try to give a sports answer.
How much would it cost to golf around at Augusta? Not.
Well, it's a private course, is it not?
Well,
Or is
I
it
don't
a
know.
public course?
I
I
have
think,
no
it's,
idea.
I think
Club.
it's a private course.
I have no idea.
And
So then
in
that-
answer to your question, I have no idea.
So that would be if it's a private, then you
I'll
got
bet it'd be
dues
over
and
$100.
Oh, yeah.
$100
Pekin
I'd be
Country
ready.
Club is having hard times, excuse me, financially, and
How much are they?
they are charging, I believe, an annual membership of $2,500. But
2,500?
yes, that's pretty reasonable.
Well, that's a country club, and you probably get meals. You probably get so
Well,
much
you-
in meals, or
Yeah,
have
but you
to
still have
spend.
a
no,
minimum-
you still have to pay for your food.
There's a
That's
minimum
just your
you have to
membership.
spend each
Well, I
month.
said, yeah, you have to spend so much a
Yeah.
month in food.
Well, I don't know whether that's true or not, but
I don't know.
the country clubs seem to have fallen on hard times.
Well, I know Peoria
Seem to
Country
be.
Club. It used to be, I think, 50 grand to join,
Are you serious?
and now you can get in there for like 10 grand.
Well,
20
you know,
grand.
at what time, what companies did, and I know this for a fact, in the healthcare industry, Methodists used to buy memberships for their CEO and president, and maybe some vice president. That I
aren't
don't
you
know
aren't you
for
going to
sure.
buy Terry and I a membership?
I
to,
have it. I called the people at WeT,
Okay.
and
It's
they said
closed
they're
now.
coming out with an annual membership fee in June.
$2.50.
Yeah.
And all the corn chips you can eat, only on the 8th hole. Actually, you know, we joke about it, but WeT used to be a great place to take a date, or it was a great place for a couple of guys or gals to socialize. And then they added, didn't they, a three-hole
Well, they had a driving,
golf course?
they had a driving range.
Well,
Right.
that was there, but you could also play 3 holes that were 3-par.
Oh, I did not know
with
that.
an iron.
Okay.
Then they added batting cages.
Oh, okay.
And it really became kind of a inexpensive, relatively speaking,
Yeah.
social place to go to have fun
Mm-hmm.
on a Friday night or Saturday night or Saturday afternoon, for that matter. Did you ever go there, Terry, or are you too young?
I didn't go to that one. I've
Okay.
been to other WeT places, though.
Well, there's only one WeT, and that's the Peoria WeT.
Right.
And there's WeP,
Repeat.
which is an Indian reservation, but those miniature golf courses have fallen on hard times.
Yep, I think the last one around here is the one at Mount Holly.
he did all right. He sold it to OSF, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
They
sold the
put
land, yeah.
and they put a building up there.
Yeah. And there's one over in East Peoria behind, I guess you're behind Casey's. By the way, there is a brand, a fuel brand, that is cheaper than regular by, I think, a nickel. And
Ethanol?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
And nobody seems to use it. Well, are they afraid to? I'm afraid to use it. I don't know what. I don't know whether
I
it
don't, I don't
causes
know about
engine-
it, but it's like putting an ear of corn in your gas
Yes,
tank, isn't it?
yeah.
Is that the same
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah,
Right.
it's corn
But
based.
nobody seems to use it. Are people using it? You know, the temptation is there at 5 cents less per gallon, but I'm afraid to use it.
Yeah, I don't. I don't. I
And you
don't.
know, my car has 184,000 miles on it, and
Oh, what the heck? You might as well try.
well, but
What can happen?
for the engine to fall apart,
Well,
that's what it is. That you start to
getting
go
close
up the
to that
hill on
now.
74 and it starts sputtering.
Ping, 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 ping,
Yeah,
ping.
Yeah.
ping, ping. I remember my dad took us all. He was great to surprise us. He'd come home and say, "Pack your clothes. We're going on vacation." And my mom would say, "Zach, you got to tell us." "Oh, don't worry about it." We throw our clothes in a suitcase, and he had bought a Studebaker.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm trying to
Some
think
nice
who the
cars.
dealer was. And
But downtown
we went
Motors?
to we got as far as Denver, and we went up Pikes Peak, and it started pinging like you were describing. And we weren't, of course, as kids, we weren't sure we were going to make it up, let alone go down. And we got to the top, and I don't know, Buffalo Bill was buried there, or Ulysses Grant, somebody. I don't know who it was, but when he got back to Peoria, he wound up giving the car back to
Oh, really?
the dealer. Yeah,
So that bad
You can't
engine?
do it.
Was it a
Yeah.
new car when you bought it?
brand new.
Oh, wow. Well,
I'm trying to Terrell,
who?
Harold or Howard Terrell,
Never heard that. A Peoria name?
Studebaker dealer. Look it up.
No, I never heard that. I never heard that name. Huh.
All right, we'll pause for this message. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
And now the Illinois Emergency Management Agency presents actress Marion Ross as Marion.
I'm very ashamed of you.
Excuse me?
I'm disappointed, that's all.
In me?
You just don't get it. We could have a real emergency at any time, and are our families prepared?
Well...
No, not by a long shot.
We're not?
No, young man, I just said that.
Well, see, I was just supposed to introduce you.
Oh, sure. You go about your business, not caring one whit about making sure you're prepared with a family plan and an emergency preparedness kit. Well, I care.
Well, I care too.
Oh, so you do have a family plan and an emergency preparedness kit all put together?
No.
Well, then, I just have one thing to say.
Yes?
You get yourself over to ready.illinois.gov and learn about what you need in an emergency preparedness kit.
Yes, ma'am.
What are you waiting for?
Oh, okay. Sponsored by the Illinois Emergency Management Agency. And check out ready.illinois.gov on Facebook and Twitter.
You have a very nice voice.
Oh, thank you.
Don't slouch, dear.
Sorry.
You know, we're picking up where my dad left off, where he dropped off the Studebaker. You can't take a car back to a dealer and say, "I don't like it anymore." You could back then, because people made deals with a handshake because people were honest in years ago. I can't say that's yeah.
They have a law now.
They do.
The lemon law.
Yeah. Oh, on that lemon law. A friend of mine, God rest his soul, classmate of mine at Woodruff and Bradley University, sold me a lemon, and I took it back, and they laughed at me.
My car, I have a lemon car.
You do.
It was bought new, and evidently something was wrong with it, and they turned it back under the lemon law, and it went back to Nissan. And Nissan completely redid it and built it, but they'll stamp your title that it was a lemon car.
Well, what was wrong with it?
But I have no idea. But I bought it really inexpensive, and it only had like 2,500 miles on it, and I paid way below sticker on the thing.
Well, you had to know something was wrong with it.
It was, I don't know, something in the engine. I don't know.
But you don't know?
What do I care?
But you bought it, well, when you drove it, it'd go...
Oh no, it drives perfect, and I'll never. I keep my cars till the wheels fall off, so I'll never sell it. So I don't care if it's something on the title. But I get a really good deal on basically a brand new car
Wow.
that was bought well below.
Retail price.
Yeah. So I was happy with it.
Well, I wound up with my lemon going to the owner of, I don't mind telling you, Smith and what was S&K, and Tom Smith, who lived in Wardcliff, and I knew him, and I told him, I said, I've got this car, it just quits on me. And it was a used car, Roger, and I said, yeah, I expected to function. He was not very sympathetic, and he said, I'll tell you what, I'll make a deal for you. Trade it on a new one, and I can really help you out on that. So I said, and he showed me the new Chevrolet, and I said, put it on paper. He put it on paper. I drove over to Washington to Essex Chevrolet. He beat him by $500.
It was a lot of money. A lot of money.
Yeah, it was a lot of money. That was the only new car I ever had in my life, but it was forced on me in order to get rid of the lemon that I had. You really, I don't care who it is, and God love him, I think the world of John Bierce, you really got to be on your toes when you buy and sell automobiles.
Yeah, there's
Well,
the
buy and sell
mechanical
anything
deals.
for that
And,
matter.
yeah, I've been lucky with cars.
I'd like to say the same, but it's a different story.
So let me ask you a serious question. I was I was gone for a while. I was in Florida, and I come back.
I didn't know that.
Oh, jeez.
I didn't realize
Oh,
you had
my
been
God.
gone.
So I get back, and my spit shield is changed here. For those of you who can't see it on
Well, the
YouTube, we have little microphone muffs.
They're called windscreens.
Well, yeah, but mine changed.
Yeah.
What happened? In fact, I think you have mine.
We had a guest that threw up on it.
Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
And we change it regularly for hygienic purposes.
Well, this
See,
thing's
that's
filthy.
No, it isn't filthy.
Look at it.
That's
It's
brand new.
it's got look.
Well, it came that way.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just filthy. Check your microphone muff before you.
What? How's yours look?
It's good. Okay.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Take the windscreen off.
Oh no, I don't want to screw up your board over there because you've got color-coded stuff over there. I don't want to. I just want to complain.
See.
No, I was just kind of. I mean, why you would do that to
Yeah.
me when I was gone? You
Well, I don't know.
changed my
I'm glad we had this talk.
Well, I'm not so
my
sure.
spit shield. You changed it.
Oh, okay.
But that's okay.
Okay. Well,
I'm sure it was a
I-
high discussion that day.
I can take the criticism.
You can't handle the truth.
Well, I know it looks terrible for that matter. All right, let's do this. And we'll start with the news brought to you by Bob Manning. He's Senior Vice President, Financial Advisor with the Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley. For all your investment needs, call Bob. He's available. Likeable guy, neat guy. 309-671-4653. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. A little personal note, I'm sure people know Bob Manning's father was a judge, Judge Robert Manning. Did you know him, Matt, at all?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I wasn't.
You probably did his taxes.
No, I didn't do his taxes, but I know Bob. He's a real good guy.
Good guy, you bet. And you probably know Teri Chamberlain, real nice gal.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Sure.
And she's
Sure
going to
can.
do the news.
2 Peoria firefighters were injured yesterday when they fell through a front porch that collapsed while battling a house fire in the 3000 block of North Sheridan Road. Reports indicate they suffered back and knee injuries. Damage estimated at over $100,000. Cause of the blaze is under investigation. Caterpillar and Deuce and Bobcat are trading lawsuits against each other. Bobcat sued Cat last year for infringing on patents related to compact loaders and hydraulic motors. Caterpillar denied the claim and counterclaimed, alleging Bobcat infringed on its own product. Caterpillar also accuses Bobcat of using a competitive intelligence program to study its machines. The deadline for filing your tax returns for 2025 is Wednesday, April 15th. Many who filed have received refunds. The good news is the Internal Revenue Service is reporting taxpayers are receiving higher average refunds than in previous years, up to 14% more. The average refund is between $3,500 and $3,800, thanks to tax cuts. And we're going to talk more about tax returns very shortly with Matt Waugh, CPA with Gordon Stockman and Waugh. Peoria police are hunting for the person who stabbed a man twice on the city's south side Wednesday evening in the area of Martin Luther King and Hightower streets. At least that's where they found the victim, bleeding from multiple stab wounds. He was rushed to a local hospital and is reportedly in serious condition. Peoria Mayor Rita Ali and Peoria School Superintendent Dr. Sharon Karat were among members of an Illinois delegation that went to Rome, Italy, and had the honor of participating in an audience with Pope Leo XIV at Vatican City. Born in Chicago, he's the first U.S.-born pope and is a well-known White Sox fan. The world is hoping and praying that the war with Iran is coming to an end, but don't bank on it. Too many confusing and contradictory stories, thanks to Iran and the national media seemingly delighting in spreading falsehoods. Democrats are seeking to override the commanding officer of our military with a war powers resolution to halt U.S. action. Democrat Senator John Fetterman strongly disagrees with fellow Democrat Chuck Schumer, saying, and we quote, President Donald Trump's military actions in Iran have made the world safer. One of President Trump's chief agitators is California Representative Eric Swalwell, who's running for governor in his home state. Swalwell is in the hot seat after he's been accused of sexual misconduct with female staffers. And that Milwaukee judge who was found guilty of obstruction of justice, well, she's going to learn whether she's going to prison in June. A jury found Hannah Dugan guilty of helping an illegal immigrant evade arrest by immigration officers. And those are the headlines, Roger.
All right, thank you kindly. Now, a check of the weather brought to you by Kyle Varnold, Mr. Weather. He also provides personal and business insurance for folks for auto, home, life, and health. And he works with a number of companies to find the right policy at the right price for individuals, families, and businesses. You can reach Kyle today. We'll be live in our studio. But after 9 o'clock, you can call him at 309-682-0519. That's 682-0519. Cloudy with gradual clearing today, a high of 61, overnight low 42. Tomorrow it'll be cloudy, 64, and Sunday cloudy and 76. And right now the temperature at 52 degrees. Well, if we have been mentioning all this week, tax time and the deadline just around the corner. Matt Waugh, CPA, he knows tax returns. You've been doing them for how many years now, Matt?
40-some.
40-some, my goodness.
Yeah.
You know, I think I've asked you this question before, and I'll set the plate. My dad was a barber, as you know, and we always had the longest hair in the neighborhood. We were always having to be, we looked the worst. He never had time for us. My question is, have you completed your own tax return?
No, I hate to say it, Roger, I haven't even started mine yet.
See, we're so busy doing things for other people that we don't take care of ourselves.
I have a hard time now trying to find the money to pay on April 15th.
Well, I probably will realize that when I get your bill.
Extension. Just file an extension.
Yeah.
But you got to pay. You got to pay.
Yeah.
That doesn't
Yeah, but
extend.
you got to guess.
Have you ever been audited?
Me, no.
No.
I haven't.
So you know the safeguards. What are the red flags you think for IRS agents to do and I may have a red flag this year because this show has cost me some money, and
It's the
and I'm sure the IRS agent's going to look and say, "This can't be right. Why is this guy still in business?"
You know, Roger, what they call that sometimes is a hobby loss.
Yeah.
If
You're right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I didn't want to put you down on that, but
No, you did. It is a hobby loss. Yes, I had a choice between mental medication or doing the show. And as it turns out, as a result of the show, I'm on medication. So I lost both.
You lost both of them.
But what are some of the red flags that IRS agents look for?
One of the biggest ones is you don't report all your income on the return. If you get a 1099, let's say, and you forget about it or lose it, you don't put it on your return. You're gonna get a notice.
That pops up pretty easy, right?
Yeah, that's an easy one, and then you have to go back and say, oh, I didn't think I got that last year. They call, say you got it from a SEFQ or something, and you didn't report it. Well, they're gonna report it for you, and they'll tack on a big penalty and a big interest payment too.
Yeah,
So,
but if you're doing their tax return, you let them know before you file that, hey, pal, you didn't include this or didn't include that.
we do that. We go back to last year's return and we say, hey, you had a 1099 from this place to that place. Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. That's what they say.
Do you think they did, or they just?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
a
okay.
lot of them do because they have. I've got people that have 30, 40, 1099s, and they don't because they shop around. There's some people that shop around for 0.25% on their savings account or their CD, just bank to bank to bank, and they'll have 1099s from all over the place,
Yeah.
all over the country even.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a big one that just comes automatically. And then what happens is that the taxpayer will call me and say, hey, what'd you do wrong on my tax return? And I go, well, you didn't report this and you didn't give it to us, so it's not my fault, it's yours. But anyway, they haven't really audited Schedule C's yet. You know what a Schedule
No,
C is?
I don't know. I don't know what AB are, let alone C.
C is a sole proprietorship. So you know what that is, Roger. And if you deduct too many things on there, they have each line item on that return is put into a computer, and if it pops up that it's way above the national average, they may signal out that little expense right there and call you in and say, hey, Roger, what did you have $50,000 in auto expense on your tax return? What can you prove that? And then you just got to go through the motions of proving it before you get to. They'll tell you what they're going to ask for usually. And
Are these agents reasonable? I mean, are they polite and courteous, or
most of them are.
Are they overbearing?
Most of them are. I've had to ask for the phone number of their manager before, because they just are. A lot of them don't know the rules. A lot of times.
Are they armed?
No.
Oh, okay.
But you are.
But you are, right?
Well, I don't know about. That's one guy showed up by my office. He was working for the fraud division. He had a suit on and a badge, so he might have had
A weapon, yeah.
You got a
but
badge, you got a gun. Yeah.
I asked him when he showed up at the office. I go, "Who are you here to see?" He goes, "You." I go, "Oh, who is it? Can't be me because I haven't done anything wrong. But which taxpayer would it have been?" And he told me. I go, "Okay, well, we're not going to talk today.
That makes sense.
We're not going to talk today, but we're going to have to call our attorney at the firm. It was a big firm at the time I worked for, and that we had our own attorneys working for us.
Yeah.
And actually, that case, interesting. They called me in through my firm to a big meeting, and they did a mock trial. I didn't even know there was a thing called a mock trial, but they did one and they lost, so they pled guilty to the accusation. And then under that, I don't know if they went. I don't think they went to jail on it, but the CPA, my big boss at the time, had to give up his CPA license.
Oh, wow,
serious.
that's serious.
Yeah.
Well, that raises a question. There are two categories for unpaid taxes. One is evasion, and one is accidental, or I don't know what the term is.
Yeah.
Am I right on that?
Yeah.
Evasion you can go to jail for,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Explain that.
Well, evasion is willful, basically.
So they know you're cheated.
Yeah, if it's willful, that's a bad thing. If it's not willful, it's just a mistake. You may get civil fraud is a lot less than criminal fraud. Criminal fraud is when they really don't like you, and they want you to go to jail for that. civil fraud is still pretty serious. I mean, I've had that happen a few times, but most of the time it's negligence and just omission of an income item that's really not your fault, other than the fact you forgot it. You're still penalized for it though, and I try to get out of the penalties, and if you get a penalty 1 year, let's say you didn't file, and you have a late payment penalty, which is 5.5% a month, or you have a late filing penalty, which is 5% a month. If you don't file your taxes, that's really bad. You could have 25% tax of your penalty of whatever you owe at the time. So, and then you get 7% interest on top of that, compounded, and it's on your tax and it's on your penalty. By the time you figure it all out, you owe twice as much as you would have if you filed on time correctly. So I've had a lot of taxpayers. I had one last year. They're on an installment agreement. They paid like $50,000 on their back taxes they hadn't filed for years. Well, they paid $3,000 on their principal, and $47,000 was principal and interest, or penalties and interest, penalties and interest on their back taxes. So, it's a crazy thing.
I've got a question. Let's say, a friend of mine owns some property in Florida, and this friend is maybe thinking about. He may have told the insurance company down there that it was owner occupied, for a lower rate. This is a friend of mine, and now he's thinking about maybe he's married, taking up residency in Florida, but still have his wife maintain residency in Illinois, and the advantages of that, besides the insurance, is what? I mean, obviously there's no.
There's no income tax in Florida. I've got to actually do one today that. The wife lives in Florida, and the husband lives in Wilmington, up by Joliet.
Oh no, this would be the husband living in Florida.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Same thing. I mean, but yeah, you could live in different states, and so the Florida resident, we don't file an Illinois return, but the Illinois resident, we file a single return for her, or for him, whichever it is, in Illinois. So yeah.
And that worked out pretty advantageous?
I have a pilot for FedEx that is based out of Tennessee. That's where FedEx is, their base is. And he claims residency in Tennessee. They don't have an income tax either. But his family lives here. They go to school here. His wife lives here with their daughters.
Wow.
So they file separate, and pay taxes on his pilot income, which is quite a bit. So you can do that, yeah. And I got a lot of people that are thinking of going to Florida, especially. Texas is another one, but Florida is a big one also. And one of the reasons is there's an estate tax in Illinois. Only 5 states have an estate tax, and if you have a lot of money, you want to get out of Illinois, and people are doing it. Because
so if there's one person, if the husband moved down to Florida or took up residency, and would that avoid state taxes?
Yeah, it could if
you put the assets in
his name. Yeah, I mean, it's a $4 million exemption. So there's a lot of people that have, with the way the stock market's gone the last 10 years or so, that their IRAs have just grown, even though they have a minimum they have to take out. It's grown astronomical, it just depends. One guy I do taxes for invested in Apple when they first came out. He's got like $8 million of Apple stock in his IRA account. And that'd be one where when he passes, he'd knock off $4 million, and he has to pay probably about 20% of the excess to Illinois estate taxes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, on top of your income tax.
Yeah,
$800,000.
Exactly. Illinois is fighting with California to be the most taxed state in the nation.
I think they have a contest. I think there's a contest.
Just a little reminder.
Gas tax is second highest in the nation.
Both states are run by Democrats. Just to throw that in this
funny how that works out.
Program. Remind everybody how important it is to file. That there may be people listening. I haven't had time to get my stack together and so forth. What do you tell those people?
Well, you don't. I would tell them to file if you don't, even if you owe and you don't have the money, file. You'll get a bill, but you won't get the big 5% a month non-filing penalty. That's the one they really hammer you on. Non-payment is 0.5%, so it takes you a long time to get to the 25%. But the late filing penalty is 5% a month. So,
Yeah.
and most people, if they're gonna not file, they're not gonna file for 5 months. So there's 25% penalty right off the top. Plus the interest is 7% on the 25% on your tax. They're out of it. What I recommend, if they're get so far down and they can't pay, I mean, they may owe, I don't know, if they haven't filed for 10 years or something, they may owe a couple $100,000 by then. And then you go into, okay, you got to go and talk to a bankruptcy lawyer. You can if you don't have any assets, anything beyond 3 years ago, you can get wiped out in a bankruptcy case. And people don't like to go bankrupt, but I recommend it if there's no way they're ever going to get out of this situation with the IRS, to seek counsel with the bankruptcy attorney.
Do you have that number handy?
Yeah, I do actually.
He knows it by heart.
Yeah, but here's the problem I have with what you just said. How do you know how much you have to pay the government if you're late putting it together and you say, well, file no matter what? How do you know if you owe money?
Well, you just
Previous year, maybe? I don't know.
you come up with your best tax return you can have, that you think you have, and file it.
Yeah.
And if you owe $10,000, just send it in. They'll bill you for it, and they'll give you a late payment penalty, but they're not going to whack you with the 25% penalty right off the bat.
Well, what do you do? Figure out. You know how much money you've made.
Yeah.
And so that's what you go with, without getting into the deductions, et cetera. And
Yeah,
so
you
forth.
could. I would necessarily look at my history or my paperwork and say, I don't know what auto or whatever to take, but I would say I take at least take 50% of the number and stick it on your return and send it in. You know, I mean, it may not be totally correct, but at least it'll cover you from penalties.
Yeah, but the best thing to do is call 692-4030, and Matt Waugh will take good care of you. I still don't. You seem. I think you raised your hand. Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, I would. Matt, you hear, you see on TV all these ads. If you owe the IRS more than blah blah blah, give us a call. And what's that game? I mean, there's some gimmick going on there, right?
Well, it's offered what they call offers and compromise, and you send that into the IRS. It's a special form, and that you put down there what assets you have and what income you have, and there's formulas in there that tells the IRS how much you can afford to pay, and then you write an offer based on the formulas, and then they look at it and say, you're not offering as much as you should. We're not. And then you negotiate with the IRS agent at the time, or revenue officer who's in charge of offers, the special division of the IRS. And it may be out of Holtzville, New York, or Louisville, or I got
does it work? I mean,
yeah, I got a call today at 9:30 actually from an agent in Louisville on an offer and compromise. In this case, you can have things outside taxes that affect this. This gentleman is very sick, and his life expectancy is not normal. It's low. And I'm using that kind of an excuse to have them lower the amount that he's going to have to pay in an offer and compromise substantially, about half as much as he owes. And we'll see how it goes. I mean, he's got a good chance at it because he's got a doctor's excuse. He's had heart attack. He's this and that and the other thing. He's got a good chance of getting an offer accepted. A lot of people just send it in and just say, "Oh, I don't want to pay that." You know, that's not going to really go very far. But if you've got if you've got-
Legitimate reasons.
yeah, I mean they're not out to kill you or anything.
Is a legitimate reason? I just don't like the way they're spending my money that I send them. Is that a legitimate reason?
No.
That doesn't fly?
You go try it and let us know how it works out, okay? And if we get a letter from Stateville, Joliet, Illinois, we'll know it didn't work for you.
Accept
And
the
those-
charges.
You mentioned those firms that call you another late night radio or whatever.
Yeah.
They charge quite a bit. Like they'll take 30% of your savings.
Oh,
or
really?
Your 50% of your savings, and that's why they got these big ads.
Oh, sure.
People owe. A lot of people owe.
Yeah. I continue to have a hard time understanding how people can go for several years without filing
Yeah.
and believe they can get away with it in the end. At some point, somebody's going to knock on the door, are they not?
Yeah, I've got two going on, young guys that just are kind of, whatever. And I'm the IRS, when they come in and see that this guy hasn't filed for 10 years, but they'll only go back 6 years, and they'll say we want 6 years worth of tax returns. So that's what I'm doing for these two young guys. And the problem is, one of them gets a refund every year, and after 3 years, you're out of luck. You lose any refund that you get from prior to 3 years ago. He's got refunds for all 6 years, so he lost out on 3 years worth of refunds just because he didn't file. And if you owe, and you don't have the money, you can always file and then work out an installment agreement, and they'll go for 6 years, 72 months. And if you're under 50,000, it's automatic. You don't have to call it. I don't have to argue with them or anything. It's an automatic thing. So you just fill out a form, and you got to pay interest on it, but you don't have to pay the big penalties that that you normally would have to pay. Yeah. And it gives you a chance to catch up. Basically, they want you to file. That's what they want you to do.
I think one time when I was younger, much younger, I didn't file for several years, but I had a return each year.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't care, right?
Well, it depends on how long you waited. If you waited more than 3 years.
Did they change that? Because I kind of think it was like 6-8 years. But I was young. This was when I was a teenager.
Yeah, it was. It's been on the books for a long time. So I got one guy. I got to tell him, you got a refund of $2,000, but you're not going to get it because.
So after a while, they do keep it, even though they got to keep it all those years you didn't file.
Yep, they'll keep it. Yeah,
well, you
got to file. They give you 3 years worth, but after that, you're out of luck. Now, on the other hand, if you owe for those all 6 years, they still want their money for all the 6 years.
Sure they do. Yeah.
Of course they do.
Compounded interest.
Compounded, penalties, interest, everything.
Matt, we're reporting a national story that IRS has indicated that tax cuts have been very beneficial and refunds have increased on average of 14%. Have you seen that?
Yeah, actually I have, Roger, and especially with older people that are over 65. Let's say they get an extra, or they can get extra $12,000, $6,000 for husband, $6,000 for wife deduction this year if they're under a certain level, like 75,000, which includes Social Security, or taxable part of Social Security, interest, whatever else they might have. And a lot of people don't have income over that, so they get that extra $12,000,
really?
And that'll amount to a couple of, sometimes $1,500 more in refund than they would have gotten last year.
Yeah.
It's a really good thing for older.
Yeah.
What is
it for single versus married?
Yeah, it's $6,000 apiece. So
$6,000.
so if you're single, you get up to $6,000. It's phased in, so if you're over it's phased out once you get to a certain level, and then you don't get it anymore. But a lot of my clients are getting that extra $12,000 being married, and they get their refund's really gone up, and that's the good benefit. The other ones that they touted it was no tax on tips. I've seen that a few times. You know, I don't do a lot of people that work at restaurants, but yeah, that's a pretty good one for them. Overtime, I've had some people get to take off their overtime. It's just not the full overtime, but it's the time and a half. They get to take the half time off their taxes. And another good one is if you buy a new car and you pay interest on it, if it's built in the U.S., which I found out that you got to look at the VIN number, and if it starts with a 1, that means it's got to be built in the U.S. So it's based on the VIN number that they put on the car, and if it's built in the U.S. and if you borrow money to buy that car, you don't pay. You can deduct the interest on that.
Okay.
Even if you don't itemize.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different, a little bit here, a little bit there type things.
Yeah.
They're adding up for people.
Yeah. What's the deadline for getting married?
Getting married December 31st at 12
Not
p.m.
too late, yeah. All right, I'm out of luck on
Hey,
that one.
The thing
Yes,
is,
I'll
though,
say.
you get married that day, you're eligible to file jointly for the whole year.
Really?
Yeah, and if you pass away in January,
Well, let's not go there, damn it. Marriage is one thing. Death is pretty final.
yeah, that's true. But if you have a child the last day of the year,
Well, there you go, Doc.
there you go.
Hey, let's see if I can get a rent-a-child here.
You can adopt one between now and the end of the year.
Yeah, what are you doing later today, Terry? I'd like to adopt you.
Oh yeah, there's people that hell, you're married. I could file for the whole year joint.
Matt, let's say that you had kind of a part-time job that you did, say Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays or something, and it didn't really pay, but you're worth a hell of a lot of money. Can you?
Nice try.
Can you take off? I mean, how can that be anything you can do with it? Because I know people have a job, they're worth hundreds of dollars an hour, and they do it for free. I don't know why, but it doesn't pay.
Yeah.
But
they don't give you a deduction,
damn.
charitable deduction for your time, basically. Unfortunately, but if you spend
All right, run the news, Raj. I'll read the news.
supplies, I don't think.
Where went my
I know who
idea?
you're talking about. Right?
One of the reasons I'm losing money on the shore, I filed that I've been paying you and Terry.
He's taking losses on us.
$500 a week.
I know that's not true, IRS agents that are listening to this call.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
If we do, I think we're in trouble. And do you have an attorney at your organization? Gordon Stockman Wall? Yeah. All right, Matt Wall, and his phone number 309-692-4030. Thanks for coming in this morning.
Okay,
And paying taxes is not a laughing matter. And neither
How they spend it is.
yeah, amen. News, weather, sports coming up next on WAZU FM 90.7 in Peoria, Illinois, also on YouTube. Thanks for being a part of our program. Thanks, man.
No problem.
Everyone. It is Friday, the 10th of April, and we begin with the check of the weather, and it's brought to you by our Morton Community Banks. 50 branches across central and northwestern Illinois offering a full range of personal and business banking services. Hometown banks, FDIC insured, so your deposits are safe and secure. Look for the clock tower and you'll know they have time for you. Cloudy with gradual clearing today, a high of 61. Overnight low 42. Tomorrow will be cloudy and 64. And Sunday, cloudy and 76. We're up 1 degree. We're up to 53 degrees. Now we have the news with Teri Chamberlain and Terry Grawey reporting.
Well, 2 Peoria firefighters were injured yesterday when they fell through a front porch that collapsed while battling a house fire in the 3000 block of North Sheridan Road. Reports indicate they suffered back and knee injuries. Damage estimated at over $100,000. Cause of the blaze is under investigation.
Caterpillar and Deuce Bobcat are trading lawsuits against each other. Bobcat sued Cat last year of infringing on a patent related to compact loaders and hydraulic motors. Bobcat infringed on its own products, said Caterpillar. Caterpillar also accuses Bobcat used a competitive intelligence program to study Cat's machines.
The deadline for filing your tax returns for 2025 is midnight next Wednesday, April 15th. Many of those who have already filed have received refunds. The good news is the Internal Revenue Service is reporting taxpayers receiving higher average refunds than in previous years, up to 14%. The average refund is between $3,500 and $3,800 thanks to tax cuts. And we've had Matt Waugh here in the office giving us some of the reasons why you should definitely file your taxes.
Peoria police are hunting for the person who stabbed a man twice on the city's south side Wednesday evening in the area of Martin Luther King and Hightower Streets. At least that's where they found the victim, bleeding from multiple stab wounds. He was rushed to a local hospital and is reportedly in serious condition.
The Peoria Fire Department will hold a grand opening celebration of its newest firehouse in the 2100 block of West Northmore Road, Friday, April 24th. The event will be held from 9:30 a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. with tours and a special program at 10:30. Speakers will include Mayor Rita Ali and area legislators Dave Kaler and Jahan Gordon Booth. Apparently, Republicans were not invited. Ouch.
Speaking of the mayor, she and Dr. Sharon Karat were among members of an Illinois delegation that went to Rome, Italy. They had the honor of participating in an audience with the Pope. The Pope, born in Chicago, he's the first U.S.-born Pope, and is a well-known White Sox fan, joining our own Dr. Gene Sidler. Both, we think, are praying for a much better year for the Sox.
And talk about praying. The world is sure hoping and praying the war with Iran is coming to an end. But don't bank on it. Too many confusing and contradictory stories, thanks to Iran and the national media, seemingly delighting in spreading falsehoods. Count on some Democrats adding to the challenges President Trump is facing in this country.
Democrats are seeking to override the commanding officer of their military with a war powers resolution to halt U.S. action. Democrat Senator John Fetterman strongly disagrees with Colonel Chuck Schumer of Stalag 13, saying, and we quote, President Donald Trump's military actions in Iran have made the world a better, safer place.
The resolution, by all accounts, is political drama. Even if it would pass, which it won't in either the House or Senate, the president can and would veto it, thereby requiring a two-thirds majority for passage. Democrats know it, but it will dominate the national media for several weeks.
One of President Trump's chief agitators is California Representative Eric Swalwell, who's running for governor in his home state. Swalwell is dodging questions and the media after he's been accused of sexual misconduct with female staffers and other women. While accusers have yet to go public, others running for governor have used the charges in their campaigns against Swalwell, who was in trouble in 2020 for having a relationship with a Chinese spy, Christine Fang.
Remember that Milwaukee judge who was found guilty of obstruction of justice? Well, she's going to learn whether she's going to prison in June. A jury found Hannah Dugan guilty of helping an illegal immigrant evade arrest by immigration officers.
A Democrat federal judge in Massachusetts has again issued an order blocking a Trump administration immigration order. Judge Brian Murphy, who has twice been reversed by the Supreme Court, is probably going to be reversed a third time. Justice Department lawyers say they'll appeal Murphy's order, preventing the deportation of 5,000 Ethiopians in the country under temporary status. Republican Senator Eric Schmidt said the ruling was not subject to judicial review. And Roger, that is Da News.
You know, as the weather warms, so does the interest in looking at making a change in where you live. Good time to start considering where you would like to live next. Maybe check the inventory, what's available right now. And you can do it with Realtor Kathy Reynolds of Home Smart. She would like to assist you in your search, and you can reach Kathy today at 309-696-2162. That number again, 696-2162.
From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm Lorelei Thompson. Pekin Police Chief Seth Rainey says Wednesday's arrest in the decade-long Robert B. Jr. murder investigation culminated the most manpower-intensive case in department history. 48-year-old Keith Brackett is charged with murdering the 13-year-old boy. He was reported missing in November 2016. His remains were found 8 months later. Rainey says it's the type of crime that receives the highest level of attention.
Anytime that we have a crime against a child, it's going to be something that is the highest of priorities for us.
Tazewell County prosecutors are asking the court to keep Brackett in custody until his trial begins. Mayor Rita Ali is commending the Peoria Police Departments for its work to reduce violent crime. Statistics through the end of March show 1 homicide and a nearly 20% drop in shooting incidents. Ali credits the results to dedication and partnership.
We're not going to tolerate this. We're going to work with the police to report crime when it happens.
She notes Peoria has gone nearly 6 months without a fatal shooting, and all of last year's homicides have been resolved. Peoria Heights has planned a $200,000 surplus in its budget for the upcoming fiscal year. The village board has approved the spending plan with anticipated revenue of $6.2 million. Trustee Brandon Weisenberg says Administrator Dustin Sutton has eased the burden on taxpayers while still affording vital programs, services, and operations.
I think this is the only government I know of that puts effort into reducing the costs for their citizens.
Mayor Matt Wigginton says the budget speaks volumes for strong local management and stands as an example to other communities. Peoria is in the championship of a bracket-style popularity contest to determine the best community for startup businesses. Peoria is pitted against Sioux Falls, South Dakota for this year's Midwest Madness title. Voting is done on LinkedIn and closes at the end of the week. The winning city gets a victory party and trophy. It's also an opportunity to showcase Greater Peoria and the work done at Distillery Labs. I'm Lorelei Thompson.
Okay, thanks, Lorelei, for that. Now, time for sports. Sitting in for Dr. Gene Sidler. We have one score of local interest on the Major League scoreboard. The White Sox in Kansas City for a game last night. They led 1-0 after 6 innings, allowing the Royals just 2 hits, thanks to a great pitching performance over 7 innings by Anthony Kay. Final score, Chicago 2, Kansas City 0. The Yankees were shut out in another game, scoreless game other than Oakland. The A's yesterday won 1-0. Jeff Springs, the pitcher, a one-hitter. He was pulled after 7 innings. The bullpen came in and protected the lead. The Cubs-Cardinals idle yesterday, no games, but they return to action today and tonight. Let's turn to golf. The Masters tournament began yesterday in Augusta, where Teri Chamberlain was born and raised, and until she got to be 2 o'clock and had enough and moved. Where did you move, by the way? Did you come to Peoria at age 2?
Well, yeah, his mom and dad were from here.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So
well, he was in the service, yeah. Your dad was...
he taught radio, believe it or not.
He did?
Yes.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Wow,
No.
we're finding out some pretty interesting stuff here.
Yeah, he was the one that invented 10-4.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, it was 10-2,
And
but
then he
said
doubled it
no,
up.
He doubled up,
Wow.
And this is how crazy the Army is. When he when he went to boot camp, because, they ask, they have a little history, what are your interests or what have you done in that.
Why do they call it boot camp? Because that's where you get your boots.
That's where you get the boots.
Yeah.
That's it.
And so he put down printing, because he was in the printing industry. But he was going to Bradley at the time. He was in pre-med.
Oh, really?
Pre-med, really?
Yes, he wanted to be a surgeon.
Now we're talking about Joe.
Oh, wow.
No, it's my dad, Chuck.
Her
Oh,
dad.
Chuck. Sorry.
Yeah.
Why would I think Joe? What did Joe do?
Joe's brother. He was a salesman with Altor for
Oh,
lip,
okay.
lip trucks.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so when they were going to assign things, they looked at the pre-med, and Dad goes, well, I'm just in school for pre-med. I've had a couple of classes. I've been working at the family business, photo engraving. I know printing and all that. But they didn't put him into that. He's like, this is what I know. This is what I can do.
See, but that's on the other hand, to counter that depressing story, is well, I mean, you want the Army. Well, I was sent to West Berlin as a clerk typist
Because you could type.
because I could type. Okay, I get to West Berlin, and the captain of the outfit that I was assigned to looked at my personnel file, and he said, "You've been in radio, haven't you?" And I said, "Yes, I have been." Were you a disc jockey? I said, "Yeah, I was a disc jockey. I was a news director. I did sports. I did a little of everything." He said, "That's wonderful. Sergeant, call AFN and see if they need another announcer." Well, I didn't know what AFN was, an acronym for the American Forces Radio Network.
Oh.
Has an estimated audience of 55 to 60 million people, by the way, with 150,000 watt transmitters in about 6 different cities, from West Berlin to Bremerhaven to Kaiserslautern to Munich, and I think one other one I missed, but
Wow.
maybe Nuremberg. At any rate, so the first sergeant said, "Captain, we need clerk typists." He said, "I know, but it would be wrong. This guy's got 2 college degrees. He's an experienced broadcaster, and we want to put him behind a typewriter. You call AFN." And the first sergeant was happy about it. And so he called, and they said, "Yeah, send him down for an audition." So they told me where to go, which, I've heard most of my life where to go. Yeah,
a lot.
I went down, and I did an audition, and on the audition was, if you know sports, ad-lib sports. So I did. I ad-lib because
you knew sports.
yeah. So I did, and I wound up getting sent to Frankfurt, or outside of Frankfurt, to American Forces Network headquarters.
Wow.
And spent a year and a half doing sports on
Wow.
the AFN network.
So that's what you did in the service.
Yeah.
Huh.
For
Well,
a
lucky
network
you. I mean,
of
that was great.
55 to 60 million listeners all over Europe. And a guy used to listen to me late at night, 11 o'clock at night, do sports or wind up in Göteborg, Sweden, or some people would say Gothenburg. What was Gothenburg, Sweden famous for in the world of sports?
Sports?
Yes.
Curling.
Ingemar Johansson was a heavyweight champion, and I think he fought, he was a world boxing champion. So this guy wrote me a letter,
Really?
talked about it, and we developed a friendship, and he invited me up there. He was an older guy living in a small apartment building, and I went to visit him instead of going to Stockholm. But I don't regret it. We had a nice...
This guy's a boxer?
No, he just was a boxing fan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so see the difference.
Do you hang out with your groupies?
Your dad had an uncaring
Yeah, very, very much so.
officer, and mine. And when I look back on it, I should have kissed that guy's feet
Oh, yeah.
for what he did for
Yeah,
me,
you got to
because
do what you like
when
doing.
you were in, number one, I did what I wanted to do. I wound up doing play-by-play at Army and
Wow.
Air Force bases in France and Germany. And if I had stayed in West Berlin, I couldn't travel because we were surrounded by East Germany. And you had to go through customs and the whole bit, which I did when I went to travel from West Berlin to Frankfurt.
What was your air name? A lot of guys changed their name for some unknown reason.
Well, you don't do that in the Army.
Well, yeah, I was
Hi, this is Spec 4. Let's see, I don't... I think I was Spec 3 at the time. Spec 3, Roger Monroe with sports.
Okay.
And I
Did he
wound
give you
up-
a rank?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Why would you do? Like, people want to know your rank, or
Well, I'll tell you a quick story. Nothing, my age is always
Take
a
your
quick
time. We got
story.
time.
Yeah, thank you. We got 45 minutes. We had most of the guys were Army. There was a guy from Toluca, Silvio Camponi. He worked in supplies. We became very close friends. Neat guy, wonderful guy. God rest his soul. He has since passed away. But we had an Air Force guy doing a program And we had programs at night that were on ETs, 33 and a third electrical transcriptions. And it sound, they were on these big 33. And he was monitoring it, and he was eating potato chips. I came into my studio, which was next to his big studio, to do sports. So I was watching him, and I noticed that he had a bag of potato chips like your bag here. And each time he reached in, the bag went a little closer to the arm that was playing the program.
Oh, no.
And eventually, he pushed it under so the needle stopped, and it started repeating. Because the record kept going around, but the needle wasn't moving, and it said the, and he couldn't figure out what was going on, and so he opened his mic and said, "One moment, please," and he left the mic switch on, and when he realized what he did, he swore.
Oh, yeah.
He was gone the next day because.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because several generals called, and you did not swear on the air.
Oh, no.
And so Colonel Klink became Private Klink overnight. Anyway, where were we when we were?
You're talking about the Masters.
About the Masters, yeah. Anyway, the two players tied for the lead at 5 under par: American Sam Burns and Irishman Rory McIlroy. The round 2 begins again today. In the NBA, the Bulls won last night in Washington, beating the lowly Wizards 119 to 108. We say lowly Wizards because they now have lost 63 games. They're only the third team in NBA history to lose 62 or more games 3 consecutive years. The Bulls were led by Trey Jones, who scored 31 points, 12 at the free throw line. And the Blackhawks lost to Carolina last night, and our Peoria Chiefs defeated the South Bend Cubs by a score of 5-3. And there you have sports on Breakfast with Roger and Friends. Guess who's coming in?
Who be here?
Mr. Weather.
Oh, good.
Kyle Varnold. Should I wait and ask the last 2 history questions
Yes,
until he gets here?
Yeah, he likes
Because
it.
he likes to be a part.
He likes
he
to
does like that.
guess. Yeah, let him win.
Today's portion
let
of
him-
our
we'll let
program
him win
brought
while
to
we
you
tell
by New Trail
Trail.
Nut Granola, compliments of Terry Grawey. Would you be considered a health nut? Because you do bring in some
Half of that. Nut. But,
which half?
No, I try to eat right, but I don't always. I grew up with lousy food. The Crisco oils and all the fat
Well, we
stuff,
didn't
but,
think it was.
was bad stuff. That stuff we ate when I was growing up was. Now, Mom cooked. Mom was a great cook, but she would make things that you wouldn't make today. Well, I mean, some people I guess still do, but they're not very healthy. The Crisco oils and.
We don't eat the way we used to eat. We don't eat healthy.
Well, no.
It is amazing.
It's difficult.
When you go to a drive-in at 4:35, 5:30, it's filled with SUVs with women coming home from work, picking up dinner for the family.
You drive by that McDonald's on Knoxville, just south of McClure there. I don't care when you drive by. There's a line of cars.
Yeah.
2 in the morning. It's the
What
line
are
of
you
cars.
doing out at 2 in the morning yourself? How would you know that?
Well, I was coming home.
From Big Al's?
No, I was coming home from a show. I had a.
So you went a late night snack?
No, I didn't stop. No.
Oh, I see.
But I'll tell you what I just saw, which is kind of interesting. There's I think they call it a chef challenge here in Peoria now, and there's like 15 or 20 restaurants that have vegan meals. And you can go in, and I don't know if
We'll name a couple of places. I wouldn't mind trying that.
Well, I just went to one with my wife. It was a Mexican restaurant out there by Golden Harvest, El
Golden
Matador,
Harvest.
maybe. Is it called El Matador? And I had a fajita, vegetarian fajita.
Yeah. Now, those things scare me because I can't handle spicy foods.
No,
And when you talk
this
about
wasn't spicy.
Mexican food, it's usually spicy.
Well, not all of it.
even at
Yeah.
Taco Bell.
Well,
Yeah,
Or-
I
or
I had to
PP
call
Taco.
the fire department after
yeah,
getting
that's a
something
screamer
at
there,
Taco
but-
Bell.
But there's I can't remember, Eatin' Evolve was on the list. Now, somebody who,
Is Queen Squash on there?
Queen of Squash, I think, was on there, yes. There's about 20 of them or so. And it's,
Did you feel, was it good, or did you feel good because you knew you were
no,
eating right?
I screwed up. I ordered a fajita, and that's the one where they bring you the stuff, and it's sizzling on this plate, and then they bring you another plate,
Well, that
and then they
sounds
bring
good.
you the tortillas.
tortillas, and
you
you
got to
gotta
make
make
it
your own.
yourself. I don't want to make my food.
Yeah.
I went to a
That's
restaurant
why
for
you
them
went
to
to the
make
restaurant,
it.
yeah.
So I forgot, and it's like, oh shoot, I don't want a fajita. It was vegetable. It was good. It wasn't great, but it was good. You know.
I don't know how you separate good from great.
Well, I
but-
missed a little bit of the beef. I could have used a
You
little
missed a
beef in
big
that one. Yeah, but anyway, I plan on going around to different restaurants.
Well,
I think it's a thing.
give us an update on it because
Okay.
I wouldn't mind trying some vegan
I get you a list.
meals.
I think there's a list on the internet.
of places that serve
Yeah,
vegan
this challenge, it's like a national thing. So if you Google it, Peoria Vegan Challenge or something, but
Oh,
it's
somebody's sending it. Maybe somebody's
got to be the
us.
Peoria one because I saw there was one. I don't know if it was Bloomington or another.
Culver's has a very
Oh,
nice
dear.
salad that is reasonable in price and is very, very good.
What's an oh dear?
Applebee's is another one that has a good salad.
Yeah, but there's only one Applebee's left, and that's the one over there in Pekin.
That's the last one.
Oh,
surviving.
really?
Around here.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't even
The
know
one
if that's
out
still open.
on
150 is long gone.
Long gone, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's from Kyle. He goes, traffic is awful this morning. He's only halfway across the bridge. It's closed due to a bad accident.
Ooh.
They've been at a standstill for the last 15 minutes.
Oh, wow. So avoid the McCluggage
bridge? McCluggage?
That'd be the McCluggage, yeah.
And actually, it says the 74 westbound bridge is closed.
Westbound? Really?
Maybe he heard that on the news.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, because he's halfway across the McCluggage. 74 westbound bridge is closed due to a bad accident.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, he says he was hoping to get here in time for the quiz. Well,
Well, we can
Yeah.
hold off for a little bit.
yeah,
right?
yeah, but you can hold off.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Not
we'll
that
do
far.
the,
If he's on the McCluggage Bridge, he's just down the street. He's not that far.
Yeah, but he's
Yeah,
only
but-
halfway across.
yeah.
So,
yeah.
and if they're going to have a standstill,
He's another 10
Oh,
minutes
they're-
away. And if he's
yeah.
at a standstill, we don't know when he's going to get here.
Well, he can call. I mean, he can do this on the phone. If you're not going to make it, call us on
oh,
the.
that's true. Oh, I see. Yeah, he's saying that's why traffic is so bad in McCluggage because they're diverting everybody from the Murray Baker
74.
over to there.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me ask the producer what he thinks.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Well, no, we're.
No, I'd say we
thank you.
communicated pretty
Yeah,
well.
we're
I
communicating with
think,
all the electronic, the new stuff. We're
yeah.
texting.
I think.
We're right on it.
I think. I do think we're on it. I agree.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Well, we'll do that by giving you the weather. Should we wait until Kyle's? I'll tell you what. Let's do
Okay.
this. Let's do the pet tip
All
of
right,
the day.
we'll do that.
Today's pet tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. Do you think that most flea and tick treatments are pretty much the same? Have you ever used a product for dogs on a cat or vice versa? Do you think that what you can get in the pet or farm store is probably just as good, only cheaper than what the vet can offer? I hope you answered no to these questions. The very sad truth is that even when caring for our pets, the old saying, "you get what you pay for," is very true. People try to get by with cheaper solutions that end up costing more in emergency vet care. There are some products on the market today which are known to cause toxic poisoning or central nervous damage among cats, leading to death. Is chancing death worth the savings to you? My vet informs me that too many people have been doing this lately. They buy a cheap over-the-counter product that results in intensive vet care, often still ending in painful death and loss. Now I ask you, how much did you save by not using the better, safer product that a vet can prescribe? The same is also true for dogs. You can't use a product made for cats on dogs. Some do not even prevent against all types of worms, yet the packaging is misleading and you think you are treating for fleas, ticks, and heartworms. Please consult your vet for safe, reliable flea and tick treatment. It's the compassionate, right action to take. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSVR Studios. Theme music by Stuardo Glasser and produced by Isla Bystrom-Williams.
Today's Pet Tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
You know, I can proudly say we have some pretty extraordinary features that are not existent on other stations, and this is one of them. And I want to thank
What's that?
Bruce and Lance and Jamie for being one of our sponsors. I get, of all the things that we do, there are two things that I hear from listeners. One, you have the best news, radio and TV in the Peoria market. And two, we love your pet tip of the day.
Oh,
and it is
nice.
pretty neat. And Louis Linder told me a week ago or so, hey, we've run out of pet tips. And I said, and he said, you know, we're repeating some of them quite a bit. I said, well, see if you can find, and guess what? He found some new pet tips.
Yeah, they are.
And it's just,
and we could always fill in. You've had pets. I'm
Yeah.
sure you have some tips.
Yeah. Mhm.
I don't have any now. I did have pet. You have currently. You have
She-
I have
pets.
3, yeah.
So you can do the cat
She does meow.
I do the cat
tips.
part,
Yeah.
yeah.
The cat tips.
Yeah, and I have the dogs. I've had dogs
dog.
all my life.
Yeah.
When you grew up as a kid, did you have a dog in your family?
No. Yes. Yeah. We had a
Well,
dog.
wait a minute.
I had
you
a rabbit.
did or you didn't?
Well, it was a very short.
Well, you had a rabbit.
I had a rabbit.
And you ate it.
Somebody skinned it.
Really?
No,
Oh,
that's
we don't-
ask got truth.
I don't want to hear that story.
Okay. I just came out and just found just under the basket. And it's
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I don't want.
Yeah.
You know,
who would do that?
I had 2 rabbits last night. Where was I?
You had 2 rabbits last night?
No, it was
Or 2 bunnies?
yesterday morning. Wasn't it? Because I don't go anywhere at night. You know, I'm busy preparing for the show.
Yeah.
But 2 of them were in the middle of the street, and so I slowed down, and they. This is true. They bumped into each other getting out of the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. I never seen that happen. And I heard, as I went by, I heard one of them swearing at the other one.
Have you ever heard, speaking of that, have you ever heard a rabbit that's been caught by, I don't know, another animal or something?
I have. It's
They
horrible.
just scream like a
Yes.
it's like a human baby.
It's,
rabbit
it's a
does?
horrible sound.
Oh, it's
Really?
horrible.
Yes.
And it sounds like it might be almost humid. It's really
Human-
bad.
Human.
No, not humid.
Or
Human.
Oh,
Human.
A human
like,
scream.
Like
It's
a person.
terrible.
I
It's
didn't
horrible.
know that.
You've never heard that?
I've never heard that.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Well, thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah.
I'm
I've got
sure.
something else gross to talk about.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about the war. That's kind of a gross
Yeah,
story to talk about. 8:32 is our time, and time for the news, brought to you by Spoon River Home Health. They make a difference in the lives of their clients. They've been around helping folks in their homes since 1993 with skilled nursing to bathing and personal care. And remember, you can reach Spoon River any hour of the day or night, 24/7. Their phone number 309-245-0723. That's 245-0723. Terry, what do you have?
Two Peoria firefighters were injured yesterday when they fell through a front porch that collapsed while battling a house fire in the 3000 block of North Sheridan Road. Reports indicate they suffered back and knee injuries. Damage estimated at over $100,000. Cause of the blaze is under investigation. Caterpillar and Deuce and Bobcat are trading lawsuits against each other. Bobcat sued Cat last year for infringing on a patent related to compact loaders and hydraulic motors. Caterpillar denied the claim and counterclaimed, alleging Bobcat infringed on its own product. Caterpillar also accuses Bobcat of using a competitive intelligence program to study its machines. The deadline for filing your tax returns for 2025 is this coming Wednesday, April 15th. Many who filed have received refunds already. The good news is the Internal Revenue Service is reporting taxpayers are receiving higher average refunds than in previous years, up to 14% more. The average refund is between $3,500 and $3,800 thanks to tax cuts. We had Matt Waugh, CPA of Gore Stockman & Waugh, in the studio earlier, and he gave us some good tips. And of course, he also stressed, as he always does, file your return. It's worse, the penalties are worse for not filing than for not paying. But don't get me wrong, you still have to pay.
Still got to do it.
But it's way more if you don't even file.
A ton more.
Peoria police are hunting for the person who stabbed a man twice on the city's south side Wednesday evening in the area of Martin Luther King and Hightower Streets. At least that's where they found the victim, bleeding from multiple stab wounds. He was rushed to a local hospital and is reportedly in serious condition. Peoria Mayor Rita Ali and Peoria School Superintendent Dr. Sharon Karat were among members of an Illinois delegation that went to Rome, Italy, and had the honor of participating in an audience with Pope Leo XIV at Vatican City. Born in Chicago, he's the first U.S.-born pope and is a well-known White Sox fan. The world is hoping and praying the war with Iran is coming to an end, but don't bank on it. Too many confusing and contradictory stories thanks to Iran and the national media seemingly delighting in spreading falsehoods. Democrats are seeking to override the commanding officer of our military with a war powers resolution to halt U.S. action. Democrat Senator John Fetterman strongly disagrees with fellow Democrat Chuck Schumer, saying, and we quote, "President Donald Trump's military actions in Iran have made the world safer." One of President Trump's chief agitators is California Representative Eric Swalwell, who's running for governor in his home state. Swalwell is in the hot seat after he's been accused of sexual misconduct with female staffers. And remember that Milwaukee judge who was found guilty of obstruction of justice? Well, she's going to learn whether she's going to prison in June. A jury found Hannah Dugan guilty of helping an illegal immigrant evade arrest by immigration officers. And those are the headlines, Roger.
Yeah, I hate to bring this up. I really do. But I wish NPR would stop spreading false stories. Here's one that's being spread this morning. There's growing disquiet in the military. Now, where would they get such information? None of them have ever served in the military, number one. And number two, what is the benefit? And it says the Iran war made it worse.
No,
this is in World War II. We had Tokyo Rose and Axis Sally to deal with. Now we have NPR, PBS, NBC, CBS,
CNN.
and all the others who are doing everything they can
Don't get it.
to divide this country, and they're doing a good job of it.
I know.
And if we would have the same people in World War II in the media that we have today, I would not be surprised that we would be speaking German. I mean, it is despicable, the things that are going on, and what it's doing is hurting our military.
Yeah.
However, I believe, contrary to what NPR says, because I think they lie regularly, is that they are more unified than they have been in years, and recruitment is at its highest level
Yep.
in years and years. So there is a patriotic spirit.
I don't know why they do
flowing
it.
through the
It's
country. I don't understand
just
it. I really
confuses
don't.
me why you want to tear down what we do in America. I just don't get it. I don't.
Well, it's about power. And there are some people in the political system in this country that they don't care what damage they cause if it helps them regain power in the Senate, the White House, and of course the House of Representatives as well. 51 degrees currently our temperature.
Not bad.
And I think I'm going to go ahead because we don't even know if Kyle, is he now
Where's he at?
3/4 of the way over?
Yes,
the
he was
bridge?
at the light at Prospect, so he's,
Oh, when? What time? It'd be.
He's still got
but
5 to 10 minutes to go. Well, let's go ahead with the quiz. April 11th, 1803, a very important event took place
1803.
involving the United States and France. What was it?
Anything to do with the Eiffel
but that's
Tower?
Kyle.
This might be, it is, it might be, it could be, it
Yes.
is Superman.
Kyle Varnold, come on down.
Good morning, Kyle.
Good morning, Roger. What a terrible Friday start. How are you?
Yeah, good.
we're
The
okay, but
accident isn't on McCluggage Bridge, you said on the Murray Baker Bridge?
it's on the Murray Bay.
Yeah, so there's a bad accident, so bad that they shut down westbound Murray Baker. So they diverted all the traffic to the McCluggage. And it sucks because the McCluggage is down to one lane because of the construction on
that's right.
westbound McCluggage.
Yeah.
So it's a total cluster. Yeah, it was crazy because all the traffic that's been diverted is now either getting off, but now it's backed up. You know, if you're getting off on 29, it was backed up all the way to the light at Prospect. I thought it would get better after. It was backed up all the way to the light at Prospect. There are a lot of not smiling faces on Memorial coming into Peoria
I believe that.
today. Yeah, it was bad. It was I haven't seen it that bad in quite some time.
I'll bet the Bob Michael Bridge then is busy, and probably Cedar Street Bridge as well.
Well,
Oh yeah,
isn't Cedar Street torn up?
Yeah, Cedar Street's torn down up too, Roger. It's under construction.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
So it's either the Bob Michael or the Shade Loman are your best bets, or Swim.
Yeah. Or,
You can go up to
well,
Lakin and
well, I may
17.
decide to go
Henry.
to Joliet.
yeah, go up to Joliet, turn around,
Turn
go
around.
up to I-80 and
Yeah, right? It is.
Well,
It
what's
was
it?
bad. It
What-
was,
What is it, cloudy or sunny?
oh no, it's very overcast this morning.
Okay.
The clouds are still around from that rain. Really wasn't much rain aside from a small little drink of water we got. My rain gauge said 3/10 of an inch. So yeah, a pretty meek return on the rainfall last night.
yeah, that's nothing.
But the clouds are, yeah, exactly. That's the thing. The clouds are moving out, which is a blessing in itself. And yeah, the rain's moving out, and we actually have a really nice weekend on tap. And then we start off next week on a very warm note, but also a very dangerous atmosphere note. Looking at a good chance of strong to severe storms Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. And it could be quite impactful weather event next Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, as well as Wednesday.
Impactful what? Were you talking tornado stuff or hail or what are we?
Yes, absolutely, tornadoes. Yep,
Oh,
hail,
my.
tornadoes, damaging winds. But the tornado threat will be at play, especially Tuesday night and Wednesday afternoon.
Well, hey, go back to, if you don't mind, Kyle, to the weekend.
Of course.
You indicate it's going to be a
I
nice
don't mind.
weekend. My forecast indicates from the National Weather Bureau it's going to be cloudy for the most part Saturday and Sunday. True or untrue?
That's not accurate. I think we'll see more sunshine than clouds.
Wow.
So I hate to poo-poo my friends at the Weather Service because they always do such a great job, but I do not agree with their forecast.
Well, now you tell me. I've been doing it for 2.5 hours, and now you tell me that they're wrong. They're wrong, and
they're not.
You can't handle the truth!
They're taking a different model than what I'm taking. I'm taking a more attractive,
It's all the same sky.
model,
What?
and they're taking a more, well, that's the thing. But they're different models. So there's a storm system that's going to be moving to the north of us over the weekend. And they're thinking we're probably going to get rain out of that on Sunday. Do you have rain in your forecast on Sunday, Roger?
No.
No.
It just said cloudy and 76.
Okay, so I actually have rain in my forecast Sunday late afternoon and Sunday evening, and that rain will be from that system to the north of us that's going to have all the clouds. It's going to bring in the cloud cover. But the cloud cover isn't really going to be front and center until later Sunday afternoon. I think sunshine is more in our forecast, especially, later today and tomorrow. We might see some clouds on the increase late tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. But, again, it won't be total cloud cover. It'll be more sunshine than clouds, I believe, this weekend.
Partly sunny then.
So,
I like that.
I like to hear that too.
Yes, praise the Lord.
I respectfully disagree with your forecast.
I don't think you respectfully do it. I think you critically do.
No, I do, respectfully. Because I have great respect for my friends at National Weather Service Lincoln.
Well, that's very
admire what they
magnanimous
do.
of you. Thank you. You took the high
Well,
road.
thank you. That's a $3 word, Roger. Thank you very much.
Well, you're a wonderful human being.
Oh, God bless you. Boy, I'm just loaded with compliments this morning. I tell you what.
Well, you brought sunshine in my life.
Yeah, you brought sunshine. What the heck?
In my life,
Well, not yet. I'm bringing sunshine into your life later today and tomorrow.
That's still good.
And probably the first part of Sunday. But, yeah, that's still good. You're right. But right now, it's not sunny whatsoever.
Yeah.
The mood of the sky is like the mood on McCluggage Bridge currently.
Yeah. Are you on a motorbike?
Am I on a motorbike? No, I'm in a German car and going
I hear the
very
motor
fast.
sound, is it bumper to bumper?
It was bumper to bumper, but we lost a lot of the traffic at Knoxville. And boy, that turn lane was backed up too. So it's kind of like pick your poison here when you're coming on the westbound War Memorial today. You know which direction you're going. And I won out because the direction going past Knoxville, most of the traffic is lightened up considerably now that we're past Knoxville. Coming up on Brandywine right now.
See, this is great. You get a weather report and a traffic report. This is great.
Here's the deal. We're the only ones that give live weather reports.
Live weather reports.
In the market.
From a meteorologist.
Yeah, from a meteorologist, college educated. And we're the only one with a live road report.
Yeah,
You're not behind a computer talking about, you're in the traffic.
Right.
You are the traffic.
I'm in the traffic, was hoping to make it to studio so I could be part of the
give the guy a raise.
I did that. I did pretty well, but it's going to be close.
Well,
I'm going to
you
be
know
in
what?
about 5 minutes.
We're doubling your pay.
Yeah, double it.
Because
Just double it.
You get 2 donuts this morning.
Instead of one
This is
day old,
incredible.
we'll give you two
Yeah.
day old.
Not if you could maybe do a movie review or something. I mean,
What I do with these donuts?
Speaking of movies, I talked about it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah?
But no, there is a movie out I highly, 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 highly recommend to your listeners,
Okay.
to the audience, to you guys. It is one of the best movies I've seen in a very long time. Great theater experience. It's called Project Hail Mary.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What's the
and
name of the movie?
Project Hail Mary.
What? Oh, yeah, you
Project
mentioned
Hail
that.
Mary.
Is it a football passing thing or?
It's so good. No, there's religious implications to it, hence the name.
Okay.
So you're caught on there.
That's great. Okay, so we got a movie review.
No,
We got weather. We got traffic. So any dating tips this morning?
No, we got.
No, I've been married
the
17
history
years.
lesson.
I've gotten out of that cesspool. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, we've got some history questions that you can join us with.
Oh, yeah, I didn't miss the quiz.
No, you didn't.
Speed faster.
Yeah.
I'm at the light of Scenic right now. So, but I'll stay on the phone with you because this is kind of entertaining in itself.
Yeah. What happened?
Dunkin' Donuts.
What happened April 11th, 1803, between the United States and a European country?
Was it the Napoleonic War?
No.
Didn't have anything
Was
to
it
do
a treaty?
with the Statue of
No.
Liberty.
Well, no, I can't accept that as a treaty.
Okay.
It might have been, but the word in the answer does
Treaty of
not
Versailles?
include that. And it's a
okay, never mind.
famous, very famous. You studied this in history, I know you did. All three of you.
Well, not me, but
All right.
Is it Napoleon?
Well, he's mentioning it, but
Oh.
it has to do with a southern state.
Louisiana?
Florida?
Yes. Yes. Not Florida.
Louisiana.
Yes. What about it?
Louisiana Purchase? That was 1848, wasn't it?
On
was
April
Jackson,
11,
that wasn't it?
1803, French foreign minister, and it's a takeoff. You remember years ago there used to be a fan dancer at carnivals. You remember her name?
I don't, but I can picture her. Thank
Yeah.
you for that.
It wasn't Cheetah
Her
Rivera.
name-
You talking about New Orleans?
Her name was Sally Rand.
Sally Rand, the fan, yes, the,
Yeah.
the
Yeah, the
fan
fan,
dancer.
yeah, she was
So
a
who was the
burlesque.
French foreign minister?
Rand?
Talleyrand,
Talleyrand?
not Sally, but
Tally.
offered
Okay.
to sell Louisiana Territory to the United States
Okay.
on April 11th, 1803. Talleyrand had once suggested to Napoleon that he focus his attention on establishing his new empire in North America. However, as Napoleon's reign, but not R-A-I-N, R-E-I-G-N, crumbled like a cookie, his Minister of Finance advised that it would be wiser to sell Louisiana to America than allow what country to seize it, who had their eye on it.
England.
England is right, British forces. 3 weeks later, who purchased the land?
Thomas Jefferson.
Exactly. And nearly doubled the size of the United States of America. All right, very good, class. April 12th, 1961.
Oh, boy.
What happened in
What about
Spain?
April 11th?
On the 11th is they started selling tacos in Morton.
Oh, very good. Go on. All
No,
right, April 12th. Go on.
the 11th was the Talleyrand deal. The 12th is 1961. What happened?
Where?
1961?
In America?
Yes. No,
1961 or 1861?
1961. 1961. And it happened not in America.
In Germany?
No,
Canada?
no,
France?
no,
Mexico?
no,
Zimbabwe?
no,
Australia?
no. Okay, now, going to narrow it down. One of our adversaries, and still is today, what country?
Russia?
Right. So what
Spain?
did they do?
Oh.
Oh, they changed their name.
Well, I don't know when they did that, but you're right, they did at some point.
But not them.
From Talleyrand to Talleyrand.
Did they change the name of, like, Lenin?
No, there was no change in name.
Oh, no
No,
change in
no
name.
name changing.
That's
Okay.
the wrong way. If you're playing hide the thimble, you're
Okay.
cold. And it's connected.
Oh.
It's connected to what's going to happen later today.
That's right. It was the first man in space. You're
That
talking
is
about
right.
the first man in
Very
space.
good.
Very good, Kyle.
Listen here for
Ooh.
Kyle.
Yeah, I knew. I was
Cosmonaut.
thinking at first Apollo 13, but that was
It was
1970.
a cosmonaut, right?
Yes, cosmonaut is exactly right.
Yeah.
Graduated from cosmetology school.
He wa- yeah, he-
and
he looked
was-
good. He looked very good.
Yeah, a little heavy on the makeup under the eyes, but what was his name?
His first name was Yuri.
Yuri is right.
Yuri Gustafsson.
No.
Yeah, Yuri Gerger.
You're right. Gagarin is right. Gagarin, your first, he made history on April 12th when his 4-ton spacecraft, you remember, crap, I almost, but craft, what was the name of it? Started with the letter V. What'd you say, Kyle? I think you had it.
Viola.
No. What'd you say?
No,
Volvo.
it was a guess. The Vostok.
That's it. Vostok is right.
Yeah.
I think he's on his computer.
Yeah, he's cheating.
And it orbited the Earth at 187 miles maximum altitude, and touched down in
What is splashdown?
and largest operation at Disney World.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. No, it's not true. Where is splashdown in the Black Sea?
Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan?
Yeah. That's about as close as I get to it in the Russian. Nice going, Kyle. I think you're in the building.
He's coming up
Yeah,
the
he's
steps.
coming upstairs.
Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen, just in time to have a personal appearance.
There we are.
There he is, boys and girls. You were good going up the stairs.
Oh, you guys,
We heard you going.
it's like a cartoon.
No, it's like an old-time radio show.
Yeah, right.
Well, we've been on the phone since the plug-ins.
Okay, you need to
You got to turn that off. We're getting feedback.
Very good.
That's all right. So terrible traffic.
Terrible traffic. I don't know what happened on the Bob Mike or the Murray Baker, but it was bad, and it got backed up all the way to right before ICC on 24. Yeah. So like everyone narrows down to the right lane because the construction.
They don't zipper. You're supposed to zipper.
You're supposed to zipper.
That's the safest, fastest way to do it, and people don't know how to zipper.
You're correct.
Yeah.
Because people get pissed at people that wait till the last minute to zipper.
Yes.
Yeah, you mean take turns, right?
Yes.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, you're supposed to. You're not
Yes.
supposed to all stack up in
Get
one lane.
single file.
You're supposed to come together at
Yeah,
the end. And
people
then zipper.
do get ticked off.
Yes, I
because
shouldn't say
they
that word,
wound
yeah.
up-
I know.
Yeah.
If you go past that lane, they look at you like you're a jerk, and
You
that's
are a
what you're
jerk
supposed to
because
Yeah,
you're not
you are,
getting over. You're
because you're
waiting
not
till the
taking
last
your
minute.
supposed to
Yeah.
zipper.
Yeah.
If you would zipper
The
your
rest
lip,
of us zippered prior to, is what we're saying. The rest of us
Right,
zippered
it's the
prior
people that
to.
roll up to the very, very end that expect to get
Exactly.
to it.
Exactly right. You hit the nail on that.
Can't stand
you
them.
take that zipper and
Amen.
because
Yes.
get in line like,
Yeah.
you know, how would you like it at Christmas time if you're standing in line
Oh.
and the clerk opens up a new lane and everybody at the back of your line runs over?
I know.
Oh, one of my biggest pet peeves at amusement parks is the person that shows up in the handicap lane or whatever, and they're like on crutches, but then they get off the crutches and they're walking fine to the roller coaster. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what the hell are you on crutches for? You're just doing this to get
Well,
right
how
on the
about-
ride.
How about people that drive into handicap parking and jump out and go and open the door to help the elderly person get in? That's wrong as well, because.
Well, no, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that,
No, what
actually.
you do, no, I disagree with you.
Well,
What you
you're
do is you
92.
pull up to the front of the door and let that person out, and then park in a regular parking
That's
place.
correct, actually, yeah. You're right, you're absolutely right. That's what you should do.
You are supposed to be handicapped
you're right.
at the wheel to use the handicap parking place.
You're correct.
I had that explained to me by a state trooper.
Nope.
And something else that has taken place that's wrong is I had someone in my family years ago who had a park next to a handicap spot, and one of their wheels was on the yellow line of the handicap spot and got a ticket.
Wow.
I tell you, as long as we're on, you know what really burns my ass? It's a flame about that high. A flame about.
Oh, the flame, that's good, that's good.
Very good,
Boy, we
very
miss this
good.
guy.
Well, I got to
Thank
explain
you,
it. They
Jack.
lose a little.
Oh, Lord, I know.
That's
No,
good
it's
stuff.
coral.
Oh, it's coral?
It's very, 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 very light.
It's
Oh,
light
it's
coral.
lovely.
It's light
It's
coral.
it's very Miami Vice-like.
Well,
Hey,
tell you
boy,
what.
you know,
Very
I
Miami
want to
Vice.
commend you. You're
For what?
really into Washington sports.
Oh, thank you.
Every time you come
Yeah, a
in.
lot of your clothes are-
I like the shirt that you
Oh,
have.
thank you. This is a new shirt this year.
That's a lacrosse, isn't it?
Yeah, lacrosse. Yep, yep. So
Sublimated. That's a nice.
it is. No, yeah. I don't know who the brand is.
Sublimated.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, Teamworks. So
Oh,
Teamworks.
yeah,
Yep.
they're
So
in
yeah.
Washington.
Yep. Yeah. Washington. So, right there on Washington Road, right where you're getting in the Sunnyland area. But no, so lacrosse starts this weekend. So I wanted to support. Yeah, we're up in Orland
Who's
Park
your kids
on Sunday.
playing?
My son plays lacrosse.
Just
Yeah.
your son?
He
I
loves
bet
it.
Orland Park's going to be good.
Well, that's the thing. We don't actually play Orland Park.
you're
We
just
play
going
the
there.
Junkyard Dogs, which is North Shore Chicago. We play Schaumburg, and we play.
You can't find anybody around here to play?
No, it's really there's not a lot of
Well,
lacrosse teams around here.
lacrosse is slowly growing,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's growing
exactly.
in high school.
Yeah, I have 2 grandkids that played
Yeah.
down in Florida.
That's
Yeah,
a
so
rough-
that's the thing.
that's
So we
a-
play Bloomington. They have a team,
Yeah.
and then Dunlap has a team, which is all the Peoria schools that are
None of
under
the other
Dunlap.
local District 150s?
So, yeah. We play Oak Forest. That's the other game. So Oak Forest, Junkyard Dogs, and Southside Storm.
Who's
are-
Junkyard Dogs?
That's North Shore Chicago. So like, it's funny
Trying to
because
sound tough,
we
huh?
played the Junkyard Dogs last year, and it's really, really cool because there are some of the parents are Bears players and like sports. Yeah, like it was so cool.
players.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
because these are their kids.
Oh, my.
Because this is the North Shore Chicago Gold Coast area is where
Alright.
Junkyard Dogs are from. So yeah, it was really, really cool. Because like, oh my
Who'd
gosh,
you
that's
see?
so and so.
What,
I'm not a Bears fan, but my fellow Washington people were like, "Oh, that's so and so." They wanted to go get pictures of it afterwards, and I'm like, "I could care less. It's the Bears." But yeah, if it was the Packers,
It's
I'd
the
be excited.
Bears.
I know.
It's
I
George
know.
Hollis. Come on.
Yeah, no. There were some big names though. Anyways, I'm sorry.
So Orland Park is going to be the site? that's-
Orland Park is the site.
this-
Yep, Carl Sandburg High School is where the tournament is.
Carl?
Carl Sandburg, yes sir. He's a
All the
poet.
way, how'd he get up there? You know, he's a Galesburg guy.
He's a Galesburg guy, yeah, but
Yeah.
the high school is named after him in Orland
Yeah,
Park.
isn't
I don't
that
know.
nice?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah,
about 15
Changed it to a
seconds,
name
right?
of some black doctor up there. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Well, we got to wrap it up. And thank everybody for joining us. And have a great weekend. It's going to be sunny, according to Kyle Varnold.
It'll be great.
And,
Yeah, mostly, more sunshine than clouds, I think. Yes, sir.
well, good job. Remember, God loves you, and so do we.
Amen.
And we will see you
It's
in
another
Monday.
minute.
You know what? Let's ask the studio audience. Did you like Kyle Varnold coming in?
The last 2 minutes.
Absolutely not.
Where it began, I can begin to know it, but then I know that it's growing.